Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Teej Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Teej Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off your first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network. Thank you for coming through today on this good Thursday. Y'all already know what time it is. It's Lapeef Let's Talk Day. All right. So before Lapeef Let's Talk, I have the honor of providing you with the Trigger Mike Show for your midday, I guess. Yeah. This is midday because the day actually starts at 12 a.m. So with your midday entertainment and synopsis of the world's goings on. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I know that you could be anywhere in the YouTube verse, but you're here with me. All right. You are here with me, and I appreciate all of your patronage. Shout out to all the supporters and everybody that came through. Make sure when you come through, you hit that like button and show your support for the Lapeef Network. Thank you for all that you do and all the support that you give. We're going to keep it rocking like that. Make sure you have hit that like button. We got 40 people watching right now and 34 likes. So we're doing pretty good. If you have not hit that like button, make sure you do so right now. 35 likes. That's what I'm talking about. Can we get 36, 36, 36? 36, like 36. So, all right. Hit that like button, y'all. Appreciate that. Appreciate y'all for coming through. All right. Shout out to everybody. How y'all doing this Thursday? What are y'all doing? Y'all at work? Or y'all at work? Sorry it took so long for me to start the show. I had my buddy come through and pick up his orders. Dude orders nothing but expensive firearms, man. All right, but we're gonna make it do what it do. We're here now. We're gonna get this discussion started bright and early. Let everybody trickle in as they may so they can see that we're live. I'm loving this time. What about y'all? I'm loving this time because, boy, the nights are saturated. Sometimes I want to go on at night. Like I tried to go on last night. And I was like, nope, not going to do it again. The nights are saturated, and we want to get this good content out to you. All right. We want to get this good content out. We want people talking about what's going on in the world. You will start getting a little bit more political content from me. And I did hit JR up because we definitely spelled Kamala wrong. It just says Kamela. I don't know who the hell Kamela is, but Kamala. Today we are talking about Kamala Harris and some remarks that she made. All right, but we're going to get into it. We got to do a little bit of the housekeeping right now. So please bear with me as we get the Trigger Mike Show started on the greatest network on YouTube, which is the Lapeef Network, the network that started it all. Okay. Shout out to the sponsor, Teach Hanley, 30% off along with a free gift. The link is down in the description. This uncomplicated skin care for men. I just used mine. You can see my skin popping. Don't worry. You can do this too. Just go ahead and get down in that link and grab that Teach pack. All right. Click that link. If it's your first time ordering, you will get 30% off along with a free gift sent to you. So make sure you go get that uncomplicated skincare for men. And we're going to do it like that. Appreciate always sponsoring the show, longtime sponsor of the show. And we appreciate everything that you do for us. Please make sure you show your support. It's almost payday for some of y'all. You might as well go ahead and do that. All right. Take care of yourself. Men need to learn self-care if you have not done it already. I can say that's one of the biggest upgrades that I've made in my life is personal care. Okay. It's not just getting your hair cut. It's not just getting that sweet lineup. None of that. Actual skincare. Create an actual skincare regimen for yourself. All right. Figure out what colognes smell good on your body, all that stuff. Self-care for men is not only good to attract the ladies, it's good for your self-confidence. Okay. It's almost a handshake before you even meet people. All right. I know when I go out. When people give you that look like, who is this that just walked up on me? Because they could smell me. They could smell the freshness. And they look at the face and they see, ooh, look at them. Smooth, lined up. All right. That's your greeting card. That is your handshake before you even say hello. So make sure you go ahead and get that good self-care going. And I would start with that Teach pack, that uncomplicated skincare for men from Teach Hanley. All right, y'all. Like, subscribe if you have not. And do me a favor, as I always ask you to do on this show, to show your support for the Trigger Mike Show. I'm going to do this live as I always do. I'm going to share this topic out on my Facebook news feed. Do me one favor. Okay, do me one favor. Click that share button right below the video. It's going to say share, and it's going to open a box up. Share this to one media outlet for me. I'm sharing it to Facebook. That's where I have the most, not the most friends, but most people that want to listen to this show, most people that I know. that are in my age group that I grew up with that want to support. So make sure you show your love and do the same. Let them know we are live because I know a gang of people are going to want to talk about this. A lot of the ladies, I want to hear your opinions on this, okay? If Kamala Harris becomes president, what do you think about that? What type of legislation do you think she will be pushing? What type of agenda you think she'll be pushing? All right, I want to know what your thoughts are on potentially having a female president, a black female president at that, a black divine nine female president at that. She gonna be blacker than Barack simply because of that. They're both mixed race, but I mean I don't know what to tell you. If you mixed race and you're black, well, you're just black. You're just black. You are just black. I don't know if anybody disagrees with me. If you think she'd rather identify with her Indian side, but I think through your lived experience, if you are black, you just black. The world treats you like you black, so might as well be black. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. But Kamela for president. JR, can you change that? That shit bothering me. But let's get rid of that E. Let's get rid of that E. All right. He probably in the background. He probably in the background. My man Dale Matthews says he's mixed and he agrees. Okay. Nice, nice. Jordan Landry also says, yep, he's black. I've heard people say it, and I've watched, some of your lived experience dealing with that. People going to treat you like you black, so you black. Whether you mixed or not, you're black. All right, so we're just going to do it straight like that. Please let us know your thoughts on that. Everybody, please make sure you do as I've done and share this out to one media outlet so we can get a wave of people coming to this new thing that we're doing. All right, we got new shows on the horizon for you, new things coming. We're going to be at Norfolk State Homecoming going live. Anybody in the DC area, I'm setting it up right now. All right, the Lapeef Network will be present at Norfolk State University's Homecoming October 28th. We'll be at the Yard Fest on the 27th. So if you are a fan of the show or the network, please make sure you come out there and get ready to come. I was about to say fellowship. It's homecoming. It's going to be a lot of debauchery. All right. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be doing all types of stuff, interviews. My man, DJ Vince from All City Entertainment. I told y'all I was the fucking man in college. Okay. I made 2 calls and got this whole shit set up. 2 calls, not 1, not 3, not 4, not 5, 2 calls. I'm getting linked with student activities so we can get a vendor booth outside of the Yard Fest. Then I'm gonna call my Epsilon Pi Alphas to see if we can do something with them because they're already gonna have a tent. For the tailgates on Saturday. So yeah, we're gonna be out there, man. So if you living in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, if you're in North Carolina area and you can make it October 28th out to Norfolk State University homecoming, we're gonna be out there, man. Come have a good time with the Lapeef Network. I'm gonna let you know and update you on this network of what the parties we're going to, what events. My man Steve's having a block party probably at the Norfolk Scope. It was dope. It was outside last year. It was dope. We just took over that entrance block. I'm sorry, he did. It's not me. He took over the entrance block of the Norfolk Scope, which is a venue, right? A domed venue. It's a dome. So I think they play hockey in there. They do concerts in there, sports events, all that type of stuff. So he took the entrance block and just blocked it all off for a big ass block party. Shit was dope as hell. So more than likely we're going to be out there. I know he got to get some logistics and stuff going with his partners and stuff. But yeah, we're going to be out there, man. So this homecoming thing we're doing real big. I'm putting it out there first because I really went to an HBCU. But watch, as soon as I do it, everybody going to want to do that shit too. All right. So everybody talking about who starts stuff. I'm going to be the person advocating for these black owned networks at HBCUs because I actually went to one. And watch when I start doing it, everybody going to want to start doing it. All right. So we're trying to get our young people game up. So if you know anybody that wants to be a part of the network, wants to be a content creator, wants to be on some of the panels, I got 4 new shows in the works that I'm personally going to produce. All right. The Young and the Reckless, Married in Real Life, Sister Circle, and Messy Questions. Those are my 4 that I'm trying to debut on this network. All right. So I've already gotten the green light for that. And if you know anybody that wants to be a part of that, they're trying to get their name out there, please send me their name. Hit me up on YouTube, Instagram, or my email rather is on YouTube. Let me know. All right. So a lot of dope stuff coming in the future. And I definitely want to share a fellowship with y'all. So hopefully I'll see y'all out there, man. Hopefully I will see y'all out there. Let's get into the topic for today. Kamala Harris for president. I was looking at Spiritual Word and I tried to share this thing to myself, but it wasn't coming up. It wasn't coming up. But let me get the super chat read from my man, Mr. Rich. She is only black when it's convenient for her. In politics, of course. Of course. In politics, of course. But we already know Payne hates Democrats anyway. Payne hates Democrats any goddamn way. So finally got this. Let me get this share screen popping. Share the screen. Chrome tab. Damn, where is it? Window? Nope. I need it to be a Chrome tab. I don't know what's going on right now. Don't want y'all looking at my work emails. There it goes. All right. So let me share this with y'all. All right. So according to Spiritual Word, Vice President Kamala Harris says she may have to take over as president of the USA and is ready to do so. I'm trying to make myself bigger. I don't want this thing. But what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? Y'all have gotten my synopsis on this particular topic a few times. Y'all have gotten my synopsis on this a few times, okay? On what I think about a female president. What do you think about a female president in the United States? And most notably, Kamala Harris. The vice president of the United States currently is Kamala Harris. What do you think about Kamala Harris as president of these United States of America? Do you think she will take over? And do you think she's ready? I want to read your thoughts. Please support the show. Send a super chat if you can. My man, Mr. Rich says, yep, but I am not a Republican. I understand that. White people do not own the lease on conservatism. And I will tell you, just as anybody else will tell you, black men are traditionally conservative. Black men, through Jim Crow, through slavery, all that stuff going on, they held their family together with conservative values. Check your history. Okay? Please understand, you liberal ass people. Understand the difference between the Republican Party and conservative values. All right? You were better under conservative values. You were better under those conservative values that we're talking about. But let me get back to it, man. What do y'all think about Kamala Harris? Let me just give you my ultimate synopsis so y'all don't think that I'm out here simply just trying to hate on the lady or hate on anybody for that matter. As far as the administrative job of president goes, yes, I do believe a woman can do the job. The president is just a figurehead. People talk a lot about the president and power. The president doesn't have any power. They don't have any absolute power, damn near. They have the power to cancel, veto, executive order, but none of that is an outright absolute style of power or absolute call to power or an absolution of power, whatever you want to say it. None of that actually gives them absolute power. In fact, if they abuse it, Congress has the power to remove them with the vote, but still, you've seen they can impeach. And if they wanted to rally around an impeachment and get somebody out of there, they could, especially if that person was a danger to the office. The president of the United States does not represent absolute power. They don't. The real power players out here, you don't even know their name. or you know their name and you have no idea what type of impact these people have on your everyday lives. The real movers and shakers, do you know who's on their payroll? Lobbyists. The real movers and shakers and the people with real power in this world are the people with the money. The people that says, nope, that bill will destroy my bottom line. So I'm going to lobby and pay my lobbyists to deter and stop and interrupt and hold up and tie up in court and do all. Those are the real people with power. It always has to do with money or influence. The presidency of the United States is not absolute power. As far as the administrative job of president is concerned, a woman can do the job. Put a one in the chat if you agree. A woman can be the figurehead because I don't want to get tied up on that specific argument. Most of y'all are going to say, oh my God, no, a woman can't do the administrative job of president. If a woman can be Secretary of State, which Hillary Clinton had done, if a woman can be the director of the Treasury or the Treasury Secretary, which a woman is currently doing, a woman can do the administrative job of president. That's not what we're arguing here. All right. But I have real issues that I want to talk about as it relates to a woman becoming president. And I know some of y'all also have those same hangups. Some of y'all have those same hangups as I do. She can do the job of president, but that does not mean she won't destroy this nation in the process. Kamala Harris has already told you where she stands on a gang of issues. Most women in general that are not strictly conservative or Republican and stand completely apart and opposite of Kamala Harris, I think will destroy this nation. I'm sorry. Let me tell you why I believe that, because I want us to have intelligent conversations such as these. Not just she's a woman, she can't do it. That's dismissive. That's not what I mean here, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I mean. She's already told us where she stands. A woman in the office of the presidency, in my opinion, will behave a lot like a woman as the head of a household. Put a one in the chat if you agree. Have we not seen the destruction of a particular ethnic group when a woman is the head of the family? Let me explain a little further. When a woman is in charge, only women, children, and gays get recognized. Do I need to say it again? When a woman is in charge, only women, children, and gays are recognized. If you want to know what the single motherhood epidemic did and what it could be called in a history book, if I was going to write a column or a chapter in a history book to be taught to kids, the single motherhood epidemic stemming from the Great Society Act of 1960 or whatever it was called, I would call it the war on boys. Put another one in the chat if you agree. The single motherhood epidemic stems from the Great Society post 1960. I would call it the war on boys. Have you not noticed that when women are in charge, the boys get pushed to the wayside? We have an entire ethnic group of women that don't even identify themselves as Black people. They're the only group of people on earth that identify themselves historically, socially, and purposely as their ethnic and gender in every single sentence they use, referring to themselves. Black women are the only people that call themselves ethnic group gender to describe themselves everywhere they go in social circles of every type. I do not hear white women saying, well, as white women, they just say as women. I don't hear Indian women describe themselves, well, as Indian women, they just say women. I don't hear Hispanic women say, well, maybe a few times. But anyway, whoever else does it, they learn that shit from black women. It is idiotic and nonsensical to describe yourself apart from the males within your ethnic group. That is what it's going to be like to have a female as president. Boys and men, our issues, our agendas, and our overall well-being will be pushed to the side. Why would I give you my vote to isolate me? Of course men have their issues. Of course men have their issues. But under a man's covering and leadership, everybody gets thought about. You don't think so? You don't think so? Every single thing that women have accomplished and or have been granted in this life, in the entirety of history, has been because a man said you could have it. Am I telling a lie? Men voted for your right to vote and said you should have it. Men voted for your right to take positions and jobs and okay? Men did that. We think about everybody. Welfare, TANF, WIC, every entitlement that y'all receive, a man signed off on that bill. Men think about everybody. Somehow, some way, you can go to a man and say, the community needs such and such from you, and the community in some way, shape, or form and time will receive it. Under a woman's leadership, men's issues, concerns, and needs get pushed to the side. I'm not voting for that shit. I'm not going to vote for you to isolate and forget me. That's where I stand with it. This is not a statement of hate against women. This is not a statement saying that a woman cannot do the administrative job of president. All I'm saying is, I know how y'all move. There will not, Kamala Harris will not be in the presidency for 7 days before a bill named Black Woman Something gets written. Anti-hatred act against black women. Help me out in the chat. Help me out, chat, as I read these super chats. My man, Miss Payne says, I need to be on the panel to answer that question. I'll wait. Coming up shortly. Big Ant, my man, I think before you get elected, you need to have served in combat so you can get another perspective on things. Woo, you speaking my language now, Big Ant. That's what I'm talking about. Payne says, I am convinced that I would be a better president than her. You would be. Honestly. I cannot stand the way that lady talks with her hands. Oh, God, I want to like smack the TV. And you know, put your goddamn hands down. Shit. I know that's just a personal peeve, but it gets on my damn nerves. Payne again says, that's the lesson Stacey Abrams learned too late. Advanced Perception, $5 says, it trips me out how they really skipped over how she sentenced 2 innocent black men to death and refused to review evidence that would have exonerated them. Do you know why she did that? Politicians can never, ever accept their mistakes outright. It would make them unelectable. The best thing that they can do is to put it off in their mind, as if they did the right thing the first time. This is why they go on campaigns to find out what else the person had done wrong. That's why they go on a smear campaign. But look, they had a charge in 2006. But look. They could never admit that they did something that egregious. They could never admit it. They'd be unelectable, at least by certain people. Certain people's standards, they'd be unelectable. What else don't y'all like about Kamala Harris? Let me know. Keep the super chats coming. This is interesting. How many of y'all are liberals? And I want y'all to know that don't switch up on this show. Y'all were yelling Kamala, 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 yay, Kamala. Oh, she's an AKA, get it, queen, slay. Y'all were yelling all that shit in 2020. Do not cap. Oh, she getting at these. Oh, look at how she. Oh, nah, we remember. Don't switch up now. Here's the worst part about it. We thought the men were going to hate on Kamala. I haven't heard a man say a damn thing about this lady. Y'all the ones that's hating. First off, y'all are hating on her for the wrong reason. She's not doing nothing. When has the vice president ever done anything except serve at the pleasure of the president? In fact, the vice president is a crash test dummy. If the president can't take any heat for an agenda that they're trying to push, they will put the vice president at the figurehead of that agenda. You take some of this heat. You lead this initiative. Too much heat on me right now. All right. If there's supposed to be people that whip votes for certain agendas, the same way Obama gave Joe Biden health care, and he gave him another initiative. It's slipping my mind right now. I can't take the heat for that if it goes wrong, so I'm putting you in charge of it. Advanced Perception says, I'm a centralist or centrist. I think I've heard it. I lean left or right accordingly. I'm definitely, I used to say I was moderate right. I used to be moderate left. Of course, most of us that were black, especially if you went to an HBCU. In fact, forget that. You were more left if you went to an HBCU. You were left if you went to college. Women outnumber men so bad in college that you get this political simp indoctrination. Those rallies, those special talks and all that type of stuff in the face of women, they will get your ass in college. Oh my God. If you're a man that ever stepped foot on a college campus for 4 years straight, you were simp indoctrinated. You were indoctrinated into the order of simp. I was. Okay. I could tell you about it. It takes going through a lot in life to bring you back to your principles and what you actually believe. Not saying that what you actually believe will not be liberal, but what happens in college is that because you make friends with so many girls, the girls outnumber, I think on average, it's 7-1. 7 females to 1 male. Some of these females you have romantic or sexual interest in. And at that time, you're just trying to get some ass. So you're the agreeable one, which is not very masculine, I must admit. You're the agreeable one. Well, she wants me to go to this rally and hold us this dumbass sign, but I'm trying to get the cheek, so I guess I'll hold the sign. That's a man in college. I'm just being real with y'all. I did it too. I'm just trying to get some ass from this joint, so I'm gonna go to this dumbass rally and hold up this women are power sign. You get simp indoctrinated. It's terrible. It's terrible. I don't wish that on y'all. My driver is arriving soon. Good. All right. If you were indoctrinated to the order of simp, please let me know what that experience was like in college. Please let me know what that experience was like. All right. MS Best says some stay being simp though. Absolutely. Do we not see that on panels here every single day, every night, every time we turn on YouTube? Some men did not grow up. I'm just going to say it like that. Let me tell you why I believe this is true. Let me tell you why I believe this is true. Some men never snap out of that simp order because they're still trying to benefit from the initial reason they started that behavior in the first place. This is one of my largest gripes with women. When you look up and see nothing but simps aligning with you, you cannot call that a victory. I don't call that a victory for you. Because if it was nothing in it for that man, if he did not think that he was gaining attention, sexual favor, or access to you in some way, that nigga wouldn't be there. I'm looking at the women like, wake up. These men are they're trying to gain a benefit from agreeing with you. It's not natural for men to advocate for women against men. Let me explain that to you in detail. I am a husband. I am a father. I am a leader within the community. When I want to advocate for women, I go talk to other fathers. I go talk to other husbands. Does that make sense? In fact, that's supposed to make sense to the people who it's supposed to make sense to. If we want to advocate for women and get something done, we don't talk to the women. If I want to make a safer environment for my daughter, I don't go talk to her mom. Go talk to the other dads. Go talk to the other husbands. Simps are delivering you victories. While you're turned around yelling at me, he's standing behind you grabbing your butt. Anybody that's an artist, draw me a picture so I could put it up here of what simps are actually doing. Make it look like the woman and the man are in a dialogue, and make it look like he's in a dialogue, but he's really behind there trying to touch her ass and her private parts from the back. That is what simps do. That is exactly the perfect characterization of a simp. If he did not have access or think he had access to be caressing you, massaging your brain to make you sexually malleable, he wouldn't be there. The funniest part is that we see this on panels in the back chat. If it's all men in the back chat, the dude will be a dude about it. Like, yeah, man, these hoes tripping. They got to get right. Then women get on the panel, whole simp mode. Press the button. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Light bulb go off in that dude's head. The women are here. Simp time. Oh, the light bulb. Women are here. Simp time. All right, I got my man NBA up here. What's going on, Chief?
What's up?
And I'm chilling. How you?
Uh, just got back from the doctor and they told me I got COVID.
Oh, damn. That's crazy. You
I'm
got any
fine though.
symptoms?
I don't
You got any
just
symptoms?
sinuses, but other than that, I'm good.
Okay, this is kind of crazy because it's kind of going back up on the rise.
Yeah, but you know what? It was never really as bad as people made it out to be. I've had it 3 times, and I've had all the vaccines too. So that just show you that stuff don't work.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's they told me I should be fine a couple days. The last time I had it, I think it only lasted like 3 days, and I was good, so I'll be
Gotcha.
fine.
I was gonna say it might be because the vaccine may still work. I'm not an advocate for it, but just it probably won't, put you out for the count. I
Well, I
think
have
most
asthma. I've had asthma my whole life,
okay.
and so that's the only reason I went to the doctor because with asthma and that stuff mix, it can give you pneumonia. So,
Oh damn.
but yeah, so they told me I was fine. No, I don't. They gave me some. They gave me one of those steroid shots where it just kind of clears your system out. They
Yeah.
said I'll be fine in the morning. So I never worry about it. I'm good.
No doubt. Get well though, bro. Get well. That stuff is serious.
But how
Hopefully
y'all
everything.
doing?
Hey, we chilling, man. We talking about a really interesting topic today, man. What do you got on it? Kamala Harris potentially becoming president. And before, I didn't even say this in the monologue. I think they are about to pull some slick stuff because if I'm to be, I don't even watch CNN no more. I can literally see that network. That network is going through some kind of female takeover. Bro. They fired who last year? It's a white guy name. I forget his name now. He was my favorite dude on there,
Chris
the white guy.
something.
Chris Cuomo. They fired Chris Cuomo. All right. Now they fired Don Lemon, which is, not a big deal to me.
Yeah, he was never really on our team anyway, though.
Yeah,
So.
he wasn't on our squad. But it's like, they're literally trying to make this a female-led network, and you can actually see the stories. The worst part about it is that, well, the producers are the ones who influence the stories. Hell no. Look at the stories that they're bringing up. Look at the
the executive producer for CNN and MSNBC are women, black women, both of them. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that, but black women run both of those networks as far as the executive production. That's why you have so many women like Rachel Maddow and all these other chicks on there. It's because they put black women at the top of those organizations. And nobody even pays attention to it. But when black men get in charge of something, we don't just go and hire other black men because we the same color and gender. We go and get the best people, white, black, woman, man, it don't matter. When black women get in charge, they immediately start stocking everything with other black women, even if they're qualified or not. Engaged, yes. They don't care if they're qualified or not. It's the yah sisterhood thing they do. It's automatic. So, I just talked about this. I did my first stream on YouTube in about 3 years yesterday because I had stopped using YouTube. And it was about Joe Biden and the crime bill from '94, and I kind of tied it into Kamala Harris. But I honestly think what's going to happen if Joe Biden gets reelected, he old. I think something going to happen to him, and she going to slide in there as the first female president and the first black female president. And I think she's going to ruin this country. The reason why we didn't vote for Hillary is because we're scared of what women will do if they get that kind of power. I think she would be even worse because I think she will probably push some dumb ass sisterhood narrative that will just crush men. We're already being crushed now because politicians today are already scared of women. So they're already pushing these gender issues, these black girl power issues and women issues. But if you put one in charge, men, we might as well move to Canada.
Yeah, did you see it? Did you catch his monologue? Because he said those exact. Yeah, so he said all that same stuff. But he had to cut out for a second. But I agree with you. I think, first of all, let me tell you, I don't think Joe is going to make it to the next election. I think she's going to become president by default. I think he's deteriorating faster than we know. And they're propping him up as it is already. He's like, they got to wind him up and hold him up. And he's pretty much incoherent already. So I don't think she's going to have to run.
Look, I think, bottom line, I think, first of all these politicians in our country are too old, first of all. Mitch McConnell is freezing up live on the air. His brain don't work. What's her name? Dianne Feinstein's 90. Chuck Grassley's 89. These people are too old. Biden is definitely too old.
The other chick, Maxine Waters.
Yeah, she's almost 90. Yeah, they're too old. And Biden ran this one last time because all he ever wanted was to be president. If Biden if he really cared about this country the way he says, he would be like, I can't do another term. I'm going to step down, because there are people in his party who would do the same things that he's doing, but they're younger. But these people will hold on to power until they turn into dust. That's why Mitch McConnell said he's not retiring, even though his brain keeps freezing up. And Kamala Harris, I'm going to tell you something. I've watched some of her stuff. She is so fake. She is so fake. she locked up a bunch of people for smoking weed when she was a district attorney, but then it came out that she was smoking weed, just about the same amount as anybody else. And I was thinking to myself, so how's she gonna lock a bunch of brothers up for this, but then here her ass here doing it? She is just, it's something about her too. That's why she didn't last long when she was running for president. That's why her campaign didn't last that long. Because one thing I can say that the black community is semi good at is sniffing out fakes. And especially when it comes to people like her. She tried to play, I'm black, I'm just like you. And then when we start digging into her real life, we realize that she's nothing like us. And it's a sad thing because she could have been something special if she wasn't full of it. Look, I'm pretty sure most black people voted for Obama because he was black. I mean, you could
He was
ask him,
black.
hey, he black, I'm voting for him. I didn't personally because I'm an independent conservative. I didn't agree with none of his policies, so I didn't vote for him. But I know most of my family did, and I know most of my friends did, and their reason was he black. So she automatically had a chance just from being black, but she ruined it with her fakeness. She ruined it. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, it
Indeed.
certainly is. I voted for Barack a couple of times. The first time I was under euphoria, right? Because I never thought I'd live to see the day. And but I had no idea at the time he was going to turn his back on black people the way he did. I'll give him credit for, saving the economy when it was in ashes, but he probably was pretty much hands tied. He had to go, he had to do what he had to do. But, and of course, the medical thing he had to do, I think that was a good idea, but it was a hodgepodge. That's why they could dismantle it. But the way he just hadn't had any legislation directly for black folks, he didn't close private prisons. He didn't cut down or change that damn crime bill at all. He didn't touch any of that shit. And then his advocacy for the LBGYNs, man, was the last straw. And he's still writing missives and love letters to them now.
But Kamala Harris is a DA. She used to be a district attorney. And if she becomes president, do you realize that all this stuff that we're facing, somebody with the mindset of a district attorney, she's going to push for even stiffer penalties and harsher terms because she did it when she was a district attorney. She always went for the maximum sentence. She always went after people that way. And I look, she ain't gonna change the stripes. If you give her more power, she's just gonna do more of what she's already doing. It's just that simple.
Well, thank goodness that she's not going to have unfettered power, and she's not going to be able to pull the stuff that Trump did. At least I don't think so. The Democrats usually don't have that kind of balls to just go willy-nilly.
See, the reason I'm an independent, I've been an independent for 20 plus years, maybe longer than that. The reason I'm an independent is because I learned the hard way. A friend of mine is from overseas, from Europe. He told me, he said the word politician is a bad word in places where he's from. He said they can't be trusted on either side. And I learned that. Okay. I voted for Trump twice. And I'm one of the few people that own up to the fact that I shouldn't have never voted for that crazy man. He's a nutcase. I don't care about, listen, I don't like taxes. I own a business. I don't like all the taxes I get hit with on the Democrats. I get leveled in taxes. I don't like it. So I vote conservative, but now I just vote for independent candidates. But I'm going to tell you something. If she on the list, like say she's running and it's somebody that I really don't like on the other side, I got to go with them. I don't like everything I've learned about Kamala Harris. I don't like. She's basically a Republican pretending to be a Democrat, pretending to be whatever. None of the stuff that comes out of her mouth or Biden, none of them actually believe it. If you look at the speech that Joe Biden gave in '94 when he introduced the Biden Hatch crime bill, I streamed about it yesterday, played the whole speech. If you listen to that speech, you know instantly Joe Biden has never cared about black folks, and the only reason that Kamala Harris was his vice president because he needed one voting block to put him over the top. Black women, black men. He actually lost black male votes. They went down, but black female votes skyrocketed, and he knew what he was doing. He don't care about getting a black male vote because black females outvote black males 3-1. So he knew what he was doing when he picked her. If he really gave a damn about us, he would replace her with a intelligent black man that knows what he's doing. But he ain't gonna do that. He needs that black female vote to get over the top. Because I'm telling you right now, those are the people that's gonna put him over the top against Trump. The black female vote. None of them are gonna touch Trump. And now white women are turning on Trump because of abortion. So if Biden's probably going to win again, and then he's probably going to pass away, and then she's going to take over. That's what I think is going to happen because Biden looked like crap. Have you seen him trying to walk? He looks like he's just going to fall over. I mean, it's
not going to win.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look for America.
I think so. So we know how hard it is to unseat a sitting president.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he's doing most of the work to unseat himself right now. And it's a perfect storm. It's not even just him. So they're creating a narrative around old ass politicians right now. Mitch McConnell is going to be affected by it. Like you said, some of those names. But Joe Biden, it's almost like, damn, look at him, bro. So you're really just looking at it like you can't vote for a dead man. Like the dude's about to fall over. Like, so they're creating their own perfect storm to say, can he even do the job of president? Because most people are politically dumb.
Yeah.
Right. But so, they're not really aware of what's going on politically in the world at all until the last 3 months before an election. They never tune in for it. But it's almost as if, will Joe Biden be able to stand a debate? Like,
no.
No, he's not going to debate. See, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you the mistake that Donald Trump made. When Donald Trump said he wasn't going to the Republican debates, what he did is he opened the door for Joe Biden to refuse debates. Because now Joe Biden's going to say, well, Trump skipped all the debates with the Republicans. Why do I got to debate? See, he knew it. See, when he opened the door for that, when Donald Trump opened that door, Biden is going to use it because that old man cannot stand up on a stage for 2 hours and argue. Okay, he can't do it.
Here's the other thing. They said, well, Trump is only 3 years younger, but Trump being an evil criminal, he's got more spry. Since he sold his soul to the devil, man, he's jumping around. Shoot, he looked like a young man up there compared to Biden.
See, this is what I try to tell people. I have this issue all the time, especially with my family and with some of my friends about Trump versus Biden. And I try to explain to people. I said, this is what y'all don't get about the election. It don't matter what the polls say, because the polls had Hillary beating Trump by a million. The polls said that Barack Obama could never catch up to Hillary, and he beat her. So I don't listen to the polls. What I know is this. I know people. And here's what's going to happen. Nobody wants either one of them. Nobody wants either one of these old men. We want new, fresh blood. But what's going to happen is this. By the time the election comes, Trump's going to be convicted for one of these indictments he's under. It's probably going to be the one in Washington. He's going to be convicted for one. And that's going to turn off all the independents that he needs to win. They're going to be like, I don't want Biden, but I'm not voting for a criminal. And they're going to all vote for Biden. It's not going to be a vote for Biden. It's going to be a vote against Trump is what it's going to be. It's not going to be because they like Biden, because I promise you they don't. Democrats over 50% do not want Biden because he's old. We need to face the fact and this is why I worry about black people when it comes to politics and voting. Black men need to vote more. I'm sorry, but whenever I look at those lines of voters, it's filled up with black women and one or two black dudes sprinkled in there. We need to start voting because we can't bitch, whine, and complain at black women for voting for all these terrible Democrats if we sitting at home playing PlayStation. Okay, I'm just being real. And every time I've ever voted, I've never seen black men there. It's always me and a bunch of white folks and a bunch of black women. And we get the government that we deserve.
Right.
And the reason that black men are having so many issues with people like Kamala Harris is because they're She's politically motivated to help black women and children and gay folks and trans folks. She has no political motivation to help black men because we
Right.
didn't vote for her ass anyway. So she ain't gonna do nothing for us. We all know it's coming. Okay, the minute we get the announcement that Joe Biden is sick in the hospital, because that's all it takes. All he has to do is go to the hospital, and let's say he's on a ventilator. She officially becomes president until he wakes up. And if he don't wake up, she's officially sworn in. That's when it's gonna get bad for us. Okay, trust me, it's gonna get bad for black men. You think we having hard times now? You just wait. You ain't seen nothing.
Damn.
But maybe that's what we need. I mean, that's maybe that's something. Black men are just starting to wake up, and you're starting to see us break away from the Democratic Party. The only problem is when we get black guys, black men who actually try to take these positions, they think like the women. Like
Yep.
Jeffries, you think Jeffries, if he was running, he would have any policies for black people? I don't think so. I think he'd be just like the rest of the Democratic party-led black Democrats who just wholeheartedly, in the face of all the decay and destruction in our inner cities. Look at all the black mayors in the black cities. First of all, let's get back to Kamala, whatever her name is. I don't believe women should be in charge of men like that. I cringe every time I see a female police chief. Right? I don't think women should be in charge of men in that
Well,
capacity. Now,
ask Memphis, Tennessee about a female police chief. At Memphis is number one on the list in all crimes: murder, assault, burglary, robbery, everything, because they put a female police chief in Memphis, and
let's keep it general,
it's
though. But
it's buck ass wild.
not just because of performance. Hey, men are just not meant to, in those kind of professions. Administratively, they can do that kind of work, like you said, Mike. But
Yeah.
you cannot.
Functionally.
Yeah, functionally. But you just cannot lead men, and they'll do what you say, but you're not in your rightful spot. But that's what I said. They ain't gonna
Men just have a problem with taking orders from women, especially. Look, here's my thing about it.
To that. Let me. I hear you. I'm gonna let you go. I don't want to reduce it to just that because I've had female bosses. And I was a boss for a lot of females, but I didn't have no issues with that because of the job that we were in. It was a lot of stuff was technical, and they used to come to me and ask me how to deal with certain guys in there, right? Because they didn't know how to do it. But in these kind of jobs, policing, running the country, even being a governor, look what that chick in Michigan is doing. So let me tell you. I mean, go ahead, man.
Well, look, there are a lot of stats to back up what I'm about to say, but I'll start with the small stuff first. We hear all the time that black women are the most educated. Well, if you dig into the numbers, they enroll in college more than anybody. But the highest rate of graduation is white women. After that is Asian men. And after that is black women. It's not black women love to say they're the most educated, but they're not. They just enroll in school the most. And here's a number that you never hear them talk about. A lot of them never finish. A lot of them sign up for nursing school because, like in my state in particular, you get $5,900 a month, a grant from the government just for enrolling in school. So that's one thing they don't tell you about this. That's why you see so many of them going to nursing school, but when you go to the emergency room, you never see any black nurses. Kind of funny, ain't it? But the other thing is this: they opening all these businesses. Why do you think there's so many businesses closing? Most of the businesses that are closing, especially during COVID, were run by single black women. That was the majority of the businesses that tanked. And even before COVID, they were tanking because they don't have the ability to run businesses without some kind of male leadership involved. Now, if you're a CEO, if you're a woman CEO and you put an intelligent dude in charge of your business will grow. Okay. Some of the most successful women in the world have men running their organizations because they know. But when you have an organization where it's a woman at the top, the next person below that is a woman, the next person below that and below that, it goes out of business. They cannot run things effectively like men because we think logically, we look at evidence, facts, stuff of that nature. They wake up and it's how they feel. It's that
That
simple. It's how they
so
feel. That's
the
why they start every sentence with, if you ask a woman something on one of these panels, they start every sentence off with, well, I feel. Well,
yep.
I feel. They never say, I think. They say, I
Well,
feel. And that's how you know you got a problem. When a woman starts off a sentence with, I feel, you finna go down the feelings highway. And I'll take something from Ben Shapiro. Facts don't care about feelings. Facts are black women fail a lot when they're in charge. They like the power, but they don't like the responsibility that comes with said power. And that's why
I'm
they fail so
yeah.
much when they're in charge.
I would even take it off of black women. Women fail when they're in power.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
it's the
but
pressure.
white female CEOs fail a lot less than black female
Well, yeah.
CEOs.
I mean, even still, what it really is, what it comes down to. I observed a study about this, and basically what it comes down to is that because women are able to go to school and understand the text, right? They put themselves on equal footing with men, not understanding the underlying characteristics that are involved as to why men are in charge of everything. Women have good creativity, they're hardworking, they're creative, they're all of these things. The one thing they cannot touch men in is decisiveness. That's it. They don't have the ability to be decisive. Like you said, it's because of their feelings. If you look at any high level job, once you put enough pressure, the man is still able to be decisive under pressure. In fact, the best men, of course, feel like they have to be. Because if you're looking for help, you look left to your right. If there were a woman there to help you, they've already retreated back to being women. Pressure makes women realize they're women. That's basically the easiest way to put it. It's all fun and games when you're working within a system. Like, this is how I basically put it. Women want to be in charge with men's help. If they didn't have a man to turn to secretly, like, what does he think about this? All right, that's what we're doing. If they didn't have that, they wouldn't want to be in charge at all. They want to be in charge with male help. All right. But men ultimately are going to be like, if I'm making all the goddamn decisions, move your ass. So you see what I'm saying? Eventually, that's how it's always going to end up. When pressure comes, men do not lose the top men do not lose the ability to be decisive under pressure. That is why women hate women in power. People are always talking about men. And men don't want to see it. The biggest oppressors of women in power are other women.
There's actually statistics out that prove that women do not like working for women, and female bosses do not like hiring women. You can actually Google this. Women, it's like I tell my wife all the time, women hate each other. They love sitting around pretending, that little fake laugh they all do, like they're all enjoying each other's company. But as soon as the one girl gets up to go to the bathroom, oh, I can't stand that bitch. You know what I mean? That's how all women treat each other. They hate each other.
I heard let me just say this. I heard a respected woman on these YouTube panels saying, listen, all this sister code shit you guys keep talking about, it only exists on YouTube. Outside in the real world, women ain't hanging out with each other like that. So I said, that makes some sense. So anyway.
Somebody said you're tearing down women to prop up men. No, we're just stating the fact. We don't have to tear women down to prop up men. Men are already higher. Look, I don't know how other people do it, but I know how I do it. And there ain't no such thing as female control in my house. I make the final on everything. I'll take her input left and right, but I make the final on everything. I don't care what she says.
No, this is hold up, because this is my man AP. Let me respond to my guy because he's definitely going to send a super chat about this in a second. This is so. Not only is this not tearing down women, this is education for women. Women are at their best when they understand what the hell I just said. Because this is the issue that we currently have in society as a whole. When women are misplaced, when they're out of place, and they're trying to do a man's role, it's worse for them. They end up screwing things up to a level where if we actually want to understand how men always end up at the top, why men always rise to power, is because if you're stupid enough to give women absolute power and proxy over things and think you can turn your back and go do whatever the hell is you're doing, you just started the time clock on when she's going to retreat and be like, no, I'm just
Do
a
you
woman.
guys remember when IBM, when they put a woman in charge of IBM and they had to file bankruptcy and restructure the company? They put a man in charge and he brought the company back after they put a woman in charge. She actually ran for president too. I forgot her name, but she was in charge of IBM. They damn near destroyed the company. And then they replaced her with a man, restructured and rebuilt that company. Hey, the platform you're on right now, it was running fine until they put a certain Susan in charge. And then look at how bad she screwed YouTube up. So we know when they get that power, they really don't need to be there. We just kind of put up with it because it's the new era. But we all know
they're big on censorship too.
Well, all the censorship and crap came in when they brought in Susan, the soccer mom. You can't say certain words. You can't do this. That didn't exist on YouTube until they put her in charge.
She also took away the dislike button count. She took the dislike button count away, so you can't see how many people dislike, because about the feeling thing you were saying earlier. It's all about how she cares about her feelings and everybody else's feelings as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Some people got to get down and lay down, and that's what men are good at. Men are good at determining. Some people got to be sacrificed, and women, they try to save everybody, and that's what often causes the businesses to fail. We saw that with the head of marketing at Anheuser-Busch when it came to the Bud Light situation, and she tanked that company billions.
Oh, they tanked that shit. Who
that company dead as a doornail?
Who did that?
They fired the lady who did the Dylan Mulvaney. They fired her.
Dylan Mulvaney, like you have doomed that
trying to be progressive.
And they fired a lady at Target too, because Target did the LGBT clothes for babies. They fired her too.
Yep. You see how like listen, this is not even, because this is the worst part about it. For anybody who thinks that this is hating on women, this is not hating on women. I think men in general need to understand these basic things about women. We serve the community best understanding it. If you are somebody who subscribes to this women can do all things, you're hurting the community. You're literally hurting the community. Every single thing that we thought about women and we made space for them, they're not even succeeding, they're failing. Is it a success that a woman goes to medical school and has upwards of $300,000 in debt and then leaves the profession 5 years later? Do you think society got its money's worth?
Nope.
No. So we're paying for all these dumbass mistakes of liberals trying to say that women can do what men do exactly the way men do it. Only real thinking men understand, like, we need to make a way for them to do these things. They can assist, but they don't have the same capacity for men in almost no way do they do things. When a man becomes a doctor, he's a doctor for life. You will literally go to an urgent care or a primary care office and see a 70-year-old man in a white coat. Show me the last time you've seen a 70-year-old woman in a white coat or a goddamn courtroom trying a case. Y'all give up way before we do. It's not misogynistic to understand these basic things as men. Because
if they could do what we could do, the WNBA wouldn't exist. They would just draft them straight to the NBA and let them play against LeBron James. I'm sorry, but that's just the facts. I watched a video today where a team of 60-something-year-old men beat the #1 ranked female soccer team, the Olympic soccer team. Old men beat them, and they didn't even let them score. They skunked them 9-0.
Damn,
okay, old ass men. These men are like retired old dudes. And then I saw a video where 15-year-old boys beat the same soccer team.
I saw that one.
Yes, 15-year-old boys, but they're still saying we deserve to be paid the same. You can't even beat senior citizens and little kids.
So here's the worst part about that, because I saw the recent.
You know what was funny about that though?
Go ahead, JT.
I was gonna say, you know what's funny about that? In women's sports, they actually get paid a higher percentage. It was
in stock.
I think I want to say. I
It's a
think
26%.
yeah, it was soccer. They made 130 million, and
Yeah.
30 million of that got paid out to the players. So they found out that the women were making what 21%,
The
and the
women
men
were
were
making
making 7.
26, and the men
So
were
they're
making
making a
7%.
I do have a caveat. In tennis,
yeah.
they're worth every penny. Just like because I think they draw the eyes to the commercials. They make the money.
Did you say tennis?
So there are numerous sports. So there are
Did you
numerous
see
sports.
where Serena Williams lost to the 200th ranked man in tennis?
Yeah,
he was ranked 200th and he beat her.
Yeah,
Damn.
not athletic wise, but money wise, they draw a lot of eyeballs to the advertising.
Because they're better to look at than men.
That's actually a good example. Where women bring value, they get paid. Period.
That's right. That's exactly.
Where women
like
bring
modeling.
Here's the funny part about it. There is no reason to marginalize you when you bringing eyes and money. And you see what I'm saying? There's no reason to marginalize the women. Serena brought eyes to tennis, not black tennis. She brought eyes to tennis. Therefore,
my next door neighbor's getting a new roof put on.
Yeah.
And I see is a white dude that's the foreman, a white dude on the roof, and then some Mexican dudes. Ain't no women over there fixing that roof. I mean, I'm sorry, but if they can do what we can do, how come I don't see you out there up on that roof? You know, how come I don't see you fixing somebody's plumbing?
That's the thing. That's the thing. They ask for equality when it comes to positions of power and high paying roles, but they not in the oil fields, they not in the sewers, they not on the power lines. So they pick and choose what they want to do and be equal in, but other stuff they let the men have that. So you can't have it both ways.
We get the menial. We get what's called the menial jobs that they think are beneath them. Here's the funny part, though. I know an electrician. He's been doing it for like 30 years. This guy makes about $120,000-$130,000 a year just being an electrician. So these women who think that only the Bugatti driving dudes are making money, they're wrong. I know plumbers that make $100,000 a year. They think these jobs are nothing jobs, but to the men who do them, these jobs have taken care of generations of their family.
My electrician.
I actually think that.
How are you guys doing, Bono?
What's going on, Chief?
Hello, Bono. Good. I'm just greeting you guys. Is it my turn? Is it my turn to talk?
Let me. Yeah, you go after I read these super chats. Give me one.
Okay, good.
All right, Advanced Perception says whether right or left, it's all political theater. My man AP with the 10 ball says that is BS. That BS. I agree. Men overall are better business at business and leadership. The reason this type of talk is BS because when you know you're better, you don't acknowledge those below you. You just outwork them. This is why this actually doesn't make sense. You got to understand that this is the way. What you just said is the way the world is supposed to work. But simp men allowed women to lobby to not be as good as you and get to your position. That's where we have a problem. So think about it this way. There are funds for black women to do things. There are funds for black women to get scholarships and do that. Where is the same for black boys? They are literally creating ways to marginalize men, pretending they're advocating for women. There are women in jobs they should not be in, right? Simply because affirmative action said, "Oh, we get double the tax break because she's black and a woman. Don't hire this more qualified man for the job."
And there's a lie that they told too.
From being in this position, I noticed the man won't even get an interview. That's how they stop it from. That's how they stop you from ever making a claim against them. Just don't give the man an interview.
One of the biggest lies ever told.
For the tax break, yeah.
One of the biggest lies ever told is when they came out and said, if you prop up and help the black woman, it helps the whole black family. They had no idea they was dealing with some selfish people who only want to spend that money on themselves, and they don't care. They could care less about black men. But that's been their thing. If you prop up black women, it makes the whole community prosper. That just doesn't work because they're prospering. They're getting their nails and they Gucci bags and all this. But black men are the ones sitting out here ain't living like that. We ain't getting free government grants so we can go to school. I mean, if one of us decide we want to go to school right now, we got to pay for it. They ain't giving us nothing.
Even if they didn't do that, it wouldn't be the best thing for the community.
Why do y'all hate women so much, man? What's wrong?
Here we go.
Why do y'all hate women so much?
Telling the truth is not hatred.
Yeah, come on, bro, man. Come on, bro.
Telling the truth is you sound like one of those. Wait a minute, you sound like one of those people from the trans community. When somebody says men can't be women, and then they get mad and call you a hater.
You're just a weak man. You're just a weak dude.
Oh, here we go,
man.
Is it my turn to talk here?
NBA, man.
You notice we were having an adult conversation until one of the words jumped on. We know what the words are. Hey, Trigger Mike. You talked about this in your monologue, how dudes be talking that good shit around men, but when there's some women around, the S get on their chest all of a sudden.
Yep.
He got the S on his chest.
NBA, you probably don't love your mom. You hate your mom.
Yeah.
My mom is the greatest person on earth, as far as I'm concerned.
So is your grandma? Your grandmama hurt you then? Was your grandmama hurt you?
I never met my grandma. My grandma was dead before I was born.
Oh, okay.
So
what did you learn?
Look. If you listen, you're gonna just go through my whole family tree until you find a woman I don't like. Is that what this is?
Man,
I mean, somebody hurt you, man.
You gotta understand he's halfway trolling.
I know. Listen, I've answered every one of these kind of questions there is, and they mean absolutely nothing. Because facts don't care about feelings.
Let's let me get the super chat, and then we're gonna get the Ikene. I saw a lady.
We know what Ikene gonna say. Skip Ikene.
I saw a lady stating on TYT that there is a group of women around the world who can beat an NFL team. What the?
I actually saw that too. That's the Young Turks. I don't know if you watch their channel, but there was a chick on there claiming that they could get 11 women on a football field that could line up and score on an NFL team. And I just started laughing. It was like, whatever.
I wouldn't even watch it. The bones that would break on that damn.
No, women legs are so strong. Women lower body extremities are so strong and so agile. They can do it, bro. They can run easily and score on a man easily.
Oh, now we know what you're doing.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna troll, don't be so obvious about it. Like the earlier trolling you was doing was a lot better than this.
How y'all doing, man?
I was still reading the super chat.
Yeah. I just gotta hit the slap for John the Baptist. All right, Ikene, go ahead.
Look at it this way, guys. You see, this is the reason why women get promoted at the workplace. It's advertisement and optics. So the corporate America already seen it this way. If the corporate America is about 75% or 70% male, right? If they put one woman up there to be a CEO, they know she's not going to do the job. But we have a team of men that are going to be right behind her to do that job. That's how they see it. Because all these feminist group, activists, everybody want to run for and say, hey, we got to get a woman up there. So they don't see it as a risk per se, but they also see it as more of financial incentive or maybe to please the government, the politicians, because all these things are pleased by the politicians at the end of the day. She's not really doing any job there to prop the company or maybe bring more revenue to the company or do it better than the man would. It's not. It's our politics. It destroys a lot. It doesn't help. But at the same time, they don't see her as a positive thing. But they don't really see that much of a negative to her. Then secondly, when it comes to marrying somebody that is a handyman, I've met a lot of white women that would tell me that their husbands are handymen. And you'll be surprised that a lot of white women are not even married to corporate America. They're not really married to men that are in the corporate or that wear suits. Some of these women earn $200,000 a year, $100,000 a year. But but they will tell that their husbands are plumbers. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is in our community. So one thing that I do think is this: black men have to start telling their daughters that that guy that wears suits and walk to a building is not making anywhere near that guy that gets dirty, that comes back home filthy. We have to start telling our daughters that, because I gotta be honest with you. Just like as a businessman, sometimes when I see people look at me, they're like, ooh. But then I look at them and be like, I earn far more money than your husband. But guess what? To most of our black women, it's optics. If the black woman is not talking about somebody that earns so much money, she's talking about somebody that can dig her down good. I was watching a channel yesterday about these two black guys, right? I think it's something Harley Initiative, right? I was watching that channel. I felt disgusted right away. The black woman that they brought there to talk about relationships, she's talking about how to dig a man, how to tie your man in the bed, how to have this, sexual, that. I'm like, I have not seen any kind of channel like that in a white community where a white woman will come up and start talking about explosive sexual stuff, and every woman just like cheering her up. I'm like, our community is sexually sick. I'm sorry to say this. If women are not talking about materialistic things, they're talking about the guy with his suit working at making six figure, or they're talking about how to have sex.
That's why when I first came on, I said they were ratchet, and nobody wanted to hear it. But now everybody's repeating what I said.
But guess what? I was so disgusted, I left that channel. Because to me, that was a shame. That was a big shame. That this is what our women have been reduced to. And then black women complain and say, oh, they're sexualizing me, because you freaking sexualize yourself in the first place. You don't talk anything serious but sex.
Hold
All
on.
you talk about is sex.
Let me address something real quick, because I just learned this. So Zero Tolerance, our favorite troll, one of them, says, what changes do black men plan on making for the black men high on unemployment rate? There is some disturbing news I got to share with you about this. And this is something I observed a study, right? I was watching and listening to somebody that conducted a study. It was actually a white woman. It wasn't a black person. A white woman conducted a study that had, I think, upwards of 10,000 people or 10,000 men. And what it was is that she looked at the rate of hire for white men and white male convicted felons, and black men who have no felonies, and black male convicted felons. The white male convicted felons had a higher rate of being called back and hired when they disclosed their race and that they had felonies. They had a 17% callback and hire rate, when the black man who did not have any felonies, who was more qualified than the white person with felonies, only got called back and hired at the 14% rate. That shit blew my mind.
But
that
not
means that a white convicted
but not
felon
even that
has a better chance of getting a job than a educated black man without any felonies. That shit was crazy.
And
So,
a degree.
There's
a way to fix that.
You do know
there is a way to fix that.
But check this out though. You do know that just because a black man is unemployed on paper does not mean he's not making money. Because black men happen to be one of the highest race of men who, like, there's guys out here who wash cars, cut grass for a living. Just because they ain't went and got the LLC and went and did it, it's a lot of black men that's making under the table money.
In fact, they prefer
so that don't always mean that all these black men ain't making no money.
Here, check.
Most of y'all are weak. Most of y'all are weak.
Hang on a minute. Listen. This is what I was trying to say. Okay. Here's a problem that we have. A lot of these companies that do the hiring, matter of fact, most of them are owned by white people. And it's just like in college football. The reason why you see the same old recycled white coaches getting jobs is because all these owners of these colleges and these teams are white, and they like to deal with their own people. Well, here's the thing that I noticed. Whenever black people start a business and we try to do for the community, we can't, because black people don't support other black businesses. When you go to the hood, like if you open a place in the hood for black people, they'll still go to the gas station owned by the Koreans. They won't even come to your store. So, and then you got incidents like Nipsey Hussle. He got killed outside of his store that he put in the hood. So this is why black folks are having these problems, because we have no choice but to go to white folks for jobs. Because when black people open businesses and try to hire us, we either don't patronize the business, don't show up for work, or something bad happens. These are facts, okay? This is why black people don't like to open businesses and hire other blacks, because of these problems, okay? And white folks, you think they don't look at the data? You think they don't look and see, well, this guy likes to not show up and he don't even call and tell you why. This guy took 3-4 days off for no reason. This guy stole something from his other job. We got to be honest, okay? We can't just say, well, they're not hiring black dudes for no reason. No, they sticking to their own. They sticking to their own.
MBA, did you hear the statistic that Trigger Mike said? He said they were hiring convicted felons over educated.
They're sticking to their own.
Yeah, well, yeah. So that part of it is right, but all the rest of it, that these guys are not good actors, doesn't fit that category of black men.
Look, I don't understand why everybody has a problem with a group of people sticking to their own. Indians do it, Mexicans do it, everybody do it.
Don't move the goalposts, because I don't disagree with you there.
I'm not moving the goalposts. What's happening is they're sticking to their own.
MBA, but you went on, after you said that first part, you went on to allude to the fact that these black men are not good actors. He's talking about even good actors that are black don't get hired. Now, I agree with you. White people hire their own. And I can't say a good reason. You know why? Because those convicted felons turned up. I bet you if there was a statistic to see how well those convicted white felons do and coming on time without getting in trouble again, I bet you ain't that high. I bet you there's some recidivism rates that are higher than.
Well, I'll just use my own experience then, because that seems to be a running theme in the black community. Our own experience.
There's a factor.
I'll use my own experience. Okay. The business that I've run for the past 13 years, I've hired numerous people to work, and most of them have been black. And guess what? I've had to fire most of them for stealing, doing drugs, not showing up late, all of those things. See, stereotypes are built in truth. Okay, a lot of people think stereotypes just show up. No, there's some truth to them. That's why they're stereotypes.
I do agree with that. I absolutely agree with
a lot of black dudes, a lot of them. And we can exclude the college educated good guys because they're a small group. We're talking about the everyday black man that's looking for a job. Unfortunately, most dudes have a criminal record nowadays. Most people are untrustworthy. A lot of them are very lazy and don't want to show up to work. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Hang on.
I'm talking about
okay.
How many people on this panel actually hired other people to work?
Hold up. Give me a minute.
Most black men have a criminal record.
Give me a minute, Payne. Give me a minute, Payne.
Look it up.
For a population of 300 million people, most people are white. So that means most white people who do commit crimes do go to jail and are prosecuted. They have felony records, right? It doesn't change their opportunity once they get out of the institution of prison. It is not a scarlet letter to which they are permanently homeless and banned from employment.
Well,
wait, hang on.
You're wrong about something.
Nah, you gotta let me finish. Bro,
so we
just heard their whole diatribe. Here, then it'll make sense. It does not bar them for the rest of their life to get a successful job, especially in either management or training or internships. It does not ban them for the rest of their lives to go to college and to succeed in education. It does not ban them for the rest of their lives. A felony does, such as a black person does, number one. Number two, when we talk about hiring preferences, America preaches that this is a meritocracy, meaning the most hardest working person should get the job. The most qualified should get the job. The most educated should get the job over anything else, not color, not creed, not this, not background, right? So we know this not to be true just because of what Trigger Mike said and the lived experience that I've lived through, right? I don't have this kind of prison record. I don't have a felony on my record, right? But I have to jump through more extra hoops in order to be qualified to even apply for the job that I have in software engineering and technology and all that. I have to be smarter than the next people combined in order to get the interview, not the job, the interview. I still have to prove myself as a capable developer before even they call me back, right? I have to jump through the coding challenges. I have to answer all their questions to their satisfaction. It took me, I'm 14 years into this, right? So now it doesn't matter what question you ask me, I have the answer and then some. Now when people talk to me, it's like, yeah, we know you know what you're doing. And then they don't have any more questions to ask me because they know exactly who they're dealing with and who they talk to. I had to take 10 years to get to this kind of a level to where my foot's already in the door, right? And this is technology and this is the modern era. When it comes to felony backgrounds for white people, this is not the hoops they have to jump through in order to get the job. They don't have to prove themselves to get the job. They don't.
Okay,
how many people have you seen tatted up? How many people have you seen tatted up, mohawks, whatever?
I will answer you if you stop repeating yourself.
That are unemployed and are broke. It doesn't happen.
Repeating yourself, and it
doesn't happen.
Okay, now let me explain to you what you got wrong in this. Number one, the number one group of homeless people in America are white men. The second largest group of homeless people in America are white women. So you were wrong in that. And let me kill you on something else too. I'm a felon. I went to prison, served time, got out, started a business. Okay? Prison records don't deter you unless you let them. Black people use prison records as a crutch.
That makes no sense at all. That makes absolutely no sense at all.
Just because you went to jail don't mean you can't fucking get a job. It don't mean you can't own a business. None of that. If you let that shit hang around your neck like a weight and slow you down, then of course. But guess what? I got out of prison and I didn't say, "Oh, look at me, a poor miserable."
You are not everybody. You do not represent a population of people.
You don't.
You're an exception, not the rule.
Hold on.
The exception, not the rule. Everything you say to me applies to yourself.
Hold on. I will say that starting a business, absolutely. Certain types of businesses, of course, you can absolutely start as a convicted felon, but I think statistically, getting a job is extremely difficult as a convicted felon. Even when so this is why I don't even like when people put that that thing up to say jobs that hire convicted felons. Just because they say they hire convicted felons, the people, like, remember, anything that has to go through human people gets fucked up. All right, because in a stream of applicants, what they're saying is their policy says that they hire convicted felons.
You can't speak in absolute,
but you cannot ever.
It's not an absolute to say the black community uses shit as victims.
You cannot pass. It's extremely hard to pass the gaze of a hiring manager who has 3 non-convicted people and a convicted. They will always choose the privilege. That's really what it comes down to. They allow
like white. Listen, the white people pick their own, but nobody says anything at all. When my first day on this panel, damn near everybody was against me because of who I'm married to. They had this anti-white shield up. Okay, and everybody was picking their own. We love black women around here, blah, blah, blah. So when white people pick their own, we got a problem with it. But when black people pick their own, it's cool. That don't make sense to me.
That's not where you exist right now.
That don't make sense to me. That does not make sense to me. And that's exactly what I'm saying. He's sitting here yapping about all this. I got to be 10 times better crap.
You can't indict the whole panel.
It's not crap. My lived experience is just as valid as yours. It isn't crap.
It's just as much as yours too, sir.
But I don't disregard your experience. I say that you don't represent everybody.
I just
you just did. You just did.
You just called it 10 times better.
I think he's just trying to say. He's just trying to say it's a little harder. That's all he's saying. He's saying he ain't saying it's impossible, but Is the fact is that shit is harder for black men than it is for white men.
Yes,
now, is it
I
impossible?
agree with that.
No, it's not impossible.
I agree with that. But what I'm
Okay,
saying
well,
is, yes, it's
we agree
harder,
on the
but
same
it
thing. I
does
think
not
that's
have
what
to
he was
be a
trying to
death
say.
nail. Black men turn their problems into a death nail. Oh my God, I got in trouble with the police 8 years ago. I can't get a job. Like, you can't turn it into the victim status shit. You got to just say, look, I did some shit in the old days. I'm done with that. I'm moving on. And you got to keep trying. If I would have just stopped trying, I would be homeless on the street right now. Period. But
What
I
does that
got
have to
out
do
of
with the
prison
point?
and
No
I
one said anything
refuse.
about stop trying.
I refuse
Nobody said
to
anything like
stop.
that.
Listen here,
we got
Black Dragon, whatever. I'm not talking to you at this point.
we got
talking to everybody else.
I was gonna say, we got to acknowledge nobody's actually gonna disagree with you, because what's
disagrees.
ideal.
Saying quit being a damn victim.
Yeah, I was like, what's ideal is that you don't stop.
I agree with the last thing
Read
you
the
said.
chat.
But the
They
one
all
thing-
agreeing with me.
the
Read
one
the
thing
chat.
I have
Everybody
observed-
saying
hold on.
NBA telling the
Hold on,
truth.
y'all.
Who cares?
Hold on, y'all.
Well, why are you
One thing
here if you don't care what the people think?
Hey, NBA, you gotta let people speak, man.
The one thing I will acknowledge
Here we
is
go with that
it's
bullshit again.
It's all
What are you
relative.
talking about?
Hold on, y'all. It's
Do
all
you want me to
relative.
pay my own super chat to mute myself? I'll do it.
Hold on,
You
hold
have
on,
to
hold on.
mute yourself, man. Just let the man finish. She's the moderator.
All right, so the one thing I will say is that it's all relative, right? If a white person goes to jail, whether it's like financial crime, white collar, whatever, it seems as though he still comes back to a community that's going to embrace him, that wants things, to see him do well and all of that. It's naturally a byproduct of what black men have to go through. You go to jail, by the time you get out, you're likely on your own, and the only family you have to look toward is the one that put you to in jail in the first place, right? So it's extremely rare that a gang member goes to jail, comes out, and can go look for a better life, because by the time he gets a few no's here, a few no's there, a few no's here, a few no's there, money running low, whatever, he has to go back to the way he made money before. It's a vicious cycle. We can't talk about the school to prison pipeline without acknowledging what the lack of resources that pipeline created for black men. We're gonna suffer the worst from it, because look at black women, for instance. On this particular issue that we're talking about, they will acknowledge every single lack of anything they don't have. Well, guess what? A black man grew up in the same house, and it's worse for him. He's a man, right? But then we start to deal with the absolutes. Oh, just be a man and go get a job and start a business. Like, that shit is that easy in the first place, right? So yeah, if we had the same family structure, if we were pro-community like we used to be, absolutely, it would be easier to get a convicted felon started back in a good way in life. But it's not that easy.
Whose fault is it that we're not pro-community, though? Like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
You said pro-community. Whose fault is it that black people are not pro-community? It's not white people's fault. White people didn't tell us to turn our backs on each other and be anti-community.
I don't even talk about white people.
I mean, here's the thing. When somebody gets out of jail, and when somebody gets out of jail, they come back to their old neighborhood or whatever, everybody pretty much just treats them like they never left. They don't say, oh, man, I'm sorry you went through all this bullshit. Let me help you. They just treat them like they were just gone on vacation. No, because when I got out of prison, everybody was like, hey, man, how you doing? How's life been? Nobody said, hey, man, sorry you went to prison. Here's some money to get your business started. Black folks don't do that for each other. Now, look, this reminds me of a conversation I had yesterday with a friend of mine. We were talking about poverty and different communities and stuff. And I said, hey, go look at the NFL draft and you'll see something glaring most people don't see. When white players get drafted, you see mom, dad, sister, brother, dog, cat, fish, big house. Everybody's in there enjoying it. When a black person get drafted, you see mom, auntie, uncle, and the dude talk about buying his mama a house. Because most black people are living in poverty. It's a fact. And that's why they want that contract, so they can buy mama a house. White boys, mama already got a house. Like, we start out behind the starting line. Okay? We don't start at the starting line. We start out behind it. I know that. I definitely put myself behind the 8-ball getting locked up. But what I'm saying is, even with all that, knowing all of that, it don't change the fact that a lot of dudes have just thrown their hands up because they can't take it no more. That's why the unemployment rate for black men is higher than everybody else in America. Higher than black women, higher than white men, higher than white women, higher than Asian people, higher than Latinos. Because black men get to a point where they say fuck it and get lazy. This is a fact. I'm not talking about exceptional black men like myself and others on this panel. I'm talking about the average everyday dude who's been locked up, sick of the bullshit, done trying, done giving a shit. And literally
trying. I gotta say something. Go ahead. This is what I'm gonna say. It's very what you guys are saying is very sad, but also you have to look at it this way. When you turn on television in the morning, you turn in you rent a movie, or you go to a movie, or you tune into Netflix or whatever. All you see is a black man being told that the only way he can make it is to be a rapper, be a musician, be a baller. You see what I'm saying? So, and how many people can be a rapper? How many people can be a musician? How many people can be a baller? The only black people that can be a baller in a year, both basketball, NFL, is only 150 black people per year can qualify for those two spots. You see what I'm saying? It's sad. What we have to do, I'm saying this, just like the white community does it, we have to start telling black men, when you get out of jail, don't look at your community to welcome you back, because they're not gonna treat you like, oh, you need guidance. They're gonna treat you like he just got out. That's what they're gonna say. He just got out. So what we have to tell the community is this: when you get out, go get you a job. A plumbing company is hiring. Your felony doesn't mean you can't get a job. A company out there is hiring. There are companies out there that will hire you as a felon. And if you think you can get out, guess what you can do? Start approaching people's houses. Tell them that you have a lawnmower company. Go get a lawnmower for $300. There are people on YouTube that can organize $300 and give it to you. I bet you if you go to every black middle-class neighborhood, they will pay you $150 a day. You can make $200 a day. That's what I'm trying to say. You can make $300 a day loaning people's houses. But the thing is this, let's be honest with ourselves. An average black man that doesn't have college degree is a lazy ass. He will not go and look for a job. He's going to go get his weed. He's going to get his Hennessy. He's going to go look for Keisha to get pregnant, so Keisha will take care of him, because Keisha already got 3 kids, and Keisha is freaking ass irresponsible. You see what I'm saying? He's going to go look for somebody's baby mama to be the next baby daddy, or he's going to want to be there to smoke weed all day long. So we have to always tell this truth. An average black man without a degree is a lazy ass man. Period. But there are some, not all of them. I just said average, which means there are some of them out there that will go get a job. They want a job, but they don't know how to get it because they've been gone for so long. They've been gone for so long. In fact, you'll be surprised that some black dudes are coming out of jail, don't even know how to use a cell phone.
Can I
they can't even use a cell phone.
That's not most black men though. That's hell.
And that's not the average either.
Yeah, I said average.
That's not the average either. I think that's the minority. That's not average.
That's a minority.
I give 3 instances. I say average black man, 2 that get out of jail, 3 that is a felon. I give 3 instances, which means I put them in a category. I didn't make them all the black men out there, or all the average black men out there. That's what I said.
I think, can I jump in there?
Yes, right, so please. Hold on real quick, Drew. Hold on real quick. So I'm gonna let y'all keep cooking. I'm gonna go get my son after True goes. Y'all answer the question.
CBN hasn't gone yet either.
All right, good. Go ahead, moderate, Payne.
I wanted to simply add it.
Oh,
go ahead, True.
How y'all gentlemen doing?
Doing all right.
Good. Great
discussion. Man, I'm straight.
No doubt. Great discussion so far. I wanted to jump in here real quick and just add my opinion, and mainly kind of challenge what NBA is saying. I think what you are alluding to is not a congruent vision of the entire community, and mainly because it's not the condition of just those who are incarcerated. It's the mere fact that our community does not have support, and this is just generally how it works. I had this discussion with my father some years ago because he used to spit some of the same rhetoric that it is just the system. It is not just the system. What makes our Caucasian brothers and sisters efficient is that it does not matter if they have a Boeing company or a little fish and tackle company or any little thing going on. Their whole community overall has support at the highest level, middle level, even the lowest level. What I don't think that I heard anyone say other than Trigger Mike, and he alluded to it, is that there really is no support. Support is not always financial. A lot of times our community, especially our men, our boys and whichever, don't get the encouragement to actually even nurture their dreams. If they tell you they want to do something, you get met with pushback. You get met with why you can't. You get met with what it's not going to happen. And then to couple that, most people in our community are in survival mode. So the mere fact that they're trying to survive, they don't have the pure support just through words to even give you the idea that you can actually succeed in mass. I'm not talking about your isolated incidences. So what tends to happen, since we're using the analogy of jail is a mental system breaking conglomerate. That's what it's designed to do. It is designed to cripple the spirit of the man. It is designed to cripple his innovation. It is designed to let him know that he is not to succeed, to grow, whichever, however. Then you couple that with coming back to a broken community who has all of the ailments that we have. I don't see how you expect your average man to pull himself up from the bootstraps and just innovate. And even with the things that you guys said, mowing lawns, washing cars, those are great. But you still need people to patronize the business, not just in money, but in true support, in the marketing. You need people who believe in the fact that you are succeeding. See, our community, what they like to do is they like to talk. They do not like to see you do better than them, period, especially if your condition was worse. How dare he get out of jail and start a business and start making 2 times the amount of money that I've been making and I got a degree? How dare he go ahead and start getting endorsements or whatever? That's our community. And no one's talking about this because this is the truth. It don't matter if you're a black person at the highest level. Our community has a problem with seeing people who look like us succeed. That's the truth. It's the same thing on these freaking YouTube streets. It's just the condition of how things work. Now, I do agree, NBA, that black men need to take more accountability. They need to, insulate their emotions and their mindset. But that takes men, and that takes a fallback. That takes that when you do stumble, nobody's pointing and laughing at you, telling you, I told you so. That takes men and women, the community, to truly support it. Our community talk a lot. Don't write checks. Don't market. Don't push. That's what I see. And this is coming from someone who grew up in the same conditions. However, even with being blessed, in my opinion, I have my father, so on and so forth. It's no different. The condition is the condition, because even that, you got your daddy. You good. You don't need our help. It's the condition of our community. So I think that I appreciate you, brother, that you've progressed. You started a business. That's awesome. You've given our people positions to grow. I've done the same thing. You ask people on the panel, have you hired people? I've empowered a lot of black people, have them start their businesses, so on and so forth. But I think it's more to it. We have to look at the condition of our community and truly understand it's not just the money. Once we get a fraction of us who really can support each other, truly support each other, willing to sacrifice and be inconvenienced for each other, allow that brother or that sister to live with you for a few months while they get themselves together, and you're not pocket watching them when they do come up, and now you checking on the back end, kick me down or whatever, because that's what our community does. So, but I digress. My mic is muted. So all
I can say to you about that is good luck.
Well, hold on. Before you go, CBN, you have something to say? CBN?
I'm here. I'm glad I'm hearing the conversation, because for a guy like me in the IT field for over 22 years, I've seen the same dynamic in New York City. Here's one of the biggest problems. if you could be overqualified with all the skills, ability, with all the paperwork that could allow you to get the job, you can go to 2 or 3 interviews and they know that you're qualified for that particular job. What they're going to do is this. Oh, we'll call you back. The guy is at the lunch break. I remember this one like it was yesterday. This happened to me 10 years ago. I passed the first interview, the second, and the third. Orders left with the manager. They said the manager left. I said I wanted to wait. They send me home. I get a letter in the mail 2 weeks later. Oh, they found somebody else. But yet I was qualified for the position, but they decided to give it to somebody else. This is known in New York City, whereby if you're a Black educated individual, highly qualified for the job or quote unquote overqualified, that being said, they don't want to put you in because they feel like they want to hold the job for someone they want to put it in instead. And 9 times out of 10, they ought to put somebody in who got less qualification than you have in the technical field. So let us stop the notion like this is not what it is. Let you working out here in New York City, Manhattan, and see how corporate America actually acts. They were told to me in one particular big corporation, and I'm not gonna mention now, I'm not gonna mention the company. She told me that when they hire this particular female and put it in the executive position, they check off 2 boxes. One, the person in Black. Second, the woman, the person the female. They wouldn't put a Black executive male in those type of position for the sake of you just want to satisfy the politician X, Y, Z, whatever. This was going on in corporate America. I've been going on for far too long. So let's stop the notion saying that people are being weak. I tried looking for a job for years whereby I will fill out application, let's say about maybe 20 to 30 a day, almost 100 a week. Going to an interview left and right, hoping that someone will pick me. Even though I either qualified or overqualified. A few jobs actually told me in my face that I was overqualified.
Right. Hey,
so let's just stop the argument like people want to look for jobs. People want to look for jobs, but if you keep getting rejected over and over and over and over, it gets kind of annoying.
Yeah, you still gotta go one more time. Hey, let me cut you off on that one, but I think we hit this to death. Let's get to the questions since we're talking about qualifications. So over the next 4 years, what do you think will happen if Kamela becomes president for a 4-year term? What will happen to the United States, EBD?
Pretty sure we'll wake up tomorrow and things will be pretty much the same. The government isn't one person that decides this or decides that. It's a complete system. It's a system of systems that keep going. The federal government, the state and local, whether or not you freak out over, oh my God, she's president, that's not going to matter. Your paycheck will still be deposited into your account. You will still have your house, your car, your job, your money, your retirement. We put too much emphasis at who's the head of the government, as if whoever's the head of the government directly correlates to how you wake up in the morning or how your breakfast tastes. It doesn't work that way. Policies take a while to kick into effect, and it usually takes an act of Congress in order to sign a bill into law, and then it takes a while to even implement the law into businesses or into a government institution. So within 4 years, depending on how cooperative Congress wants to be or not to be, that remains to be seen. But as far as the world ending, or as far as things falling apart, not going to happen.
So let me ask you this on that question before you go, True. Don't you think at the very least the president sets the tone for the country?
Yeah, they set
the. From that standpoint, what do you think?
I would say the president sets the tone as far as I think that. So with that being said, right? I think that a lot of women will celebrate, right? A lot of Black women will celebrate. I think now that you put it that way, I think a lot of Black women are going to be, I don't know about their behavior. I mean, we think that they're bad now. When a Black woman is in office, Jesus, the TikToks, the tweets, the men ain't crap,
it's gonna be unbearable.
A Black woman can be president, but we can't be manager. Like all of the, I can't. It's a whole nother
okay, so let me go ahead, man. Let's go ahead, True. Go ahead.
I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it.
I mean, no, EBD did an excellent job answering that. I don't think it's going to have the impact that we think it will. Socially, absolutely. I think the kind of merch that's going to be pushed out. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some Black women who are going to capitalize off of this with their t-shirt lines and they, you know, the earrings that they make. And, you know, you probably have some Kamala Harris, like clip-on nails. Like, it's going to go crazy. That part, sure. But as far as the way our government system works, y'all seen it with Obama. Any institution, or I'm sorry, any sitting president that had a term, it takes one term, maybe even two, to actually reverse or move forward those agendas. So Kamala is just gonna be, I think what's gonna happen is gonna kind of do what they did with Obama. It's gonna service the emotional appetite for the women and give them kind of a, you know, look, we're giving you guys a shot. You'd like, it's not gonna change our overall country. So I think we'll be fine.
Hey, okay. Hey, NBA, you there? NBA? Well, he could come back to him. I don't know if Trigger, you want to go if you're in the car. Hey, JT, go ahead. JT, you there?
Yeah. I feel the same way about how everybody else feel about the situation. I don't think nothing has changed. I think there will be more kind of absurd bills being proposed to be laws, but I think they're going to get shut down by Congress. I think that like everybody said, the women are going to feel more empowered by this, and I think that can be a positive thing for a lot of women and a negative thing for a lot of women to society. I think that'll help prop up a lot of women into being at the place they want to be, whether that's good for everybody or bad for everybody. The question I would have would be, because we always know that the president is the punching bag for whenever something goes wrong. I'm very curious on how women will feel about blaming her when something goes wrong with the country, like they blame Biden, like they blame Trump. I'm curious if there'll be more excuses made, or will people try to ignore the stuff that's going wrong with the country, or will they do like any other president and say we want her out of here and flip sides on her?
You know what I mean?
Yep. Ikene.
That's a good point.
Ikene, you there?
Yeah, you guys go on. I'm listening. Keep talking.
It's your turn.
No. Somebody talk for me. I'll talk in about 15 minutes.
All right. CBN, you got something on that point?
I don't have much to say right now because I'm glad what I'm hearing going forward, because yet they're confused about what's going on with the Black community concerning employment whatsoever, but we need to be clear what really actually happened, because enter the Black Dragon was mentioned what I was going through also as well. But what people think or people that make an excuse, that needs to stop. Either you work in the blue collar, work in the white collar. There are things that are going on the back end. Let you work in HR. Let you understand how they operate, how they pick and choose. Then you're not going to understand how to do these things. I spoke to a lot of people who work in the HR department, and they're letting me know there's a game that's being played. Some cases, they're picking and choose who they want to hire.
Yeah, but do you have anything on Kamala Harris being president?
Kamala Harris? No, I don't like her. Don't want to see her. Don't want to know her. That being said, they give her the boots. Okay.
All right. And let me
So
go.
That boy changed the subject on that.
Let me say this. You know, the biggest fear I had with Hillary is that she's a warmonger, and women don't have any feel for what it means to send men to war and die. You know, and that's what I would be afraid of with a woman president. You know, and even though some men have never served and they became president, I think they still have an inherent understanding that when you send a man or people's sons to war, you're committing them to a purpose that mostly will die. And I don't think women can have any feel for that. I mean, women disregard men in general, you know? So being responsible for men's lives, for whatever the purpose might be, could be righteous. And we know some of the wars we've been in haven't been righteous. I don't think they have that same kind of governor, you know, and so I'd be afraid of that. But let me ask you this question. Do you guys think she's going to be elected? I mean, we can come back to that, but do you think she'll be elected or she's going to secede before the next election? or sometimes during, for Biden. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it myself. Anybody have that on that?
I mean, I think he might win re-election.
I don't think she'll.
Go ahead, GT.
Who, Biden?
No.
Yeah,
I don't think Biden. No. I don't think she'll be elected. I agree with you though, Payne. I was gonna mention that as well as the war, and you have to think about it on the other end. Will countries be more willing to try the U.S. now, and because the U.S. has always been the country that everybody's scared of, will they be more willing to jump at us that a woman is in charge? Will they be willing to infringe more on our space like we see China do with Taiwan and shooting missiles off of their coast and stuff? Will they be more willing to showboat and try to threaten us as a country because a woman is our president?
I think
or
that
start a war with us, possibly.
I think that if we have a woman president, she has, being the first woman president, she has something to prove. She has something to prove to all the men that came before her that she's not to be messed with. So there may be something unnecessarily that she takes to from a 1 to a 10 to say that I'm a woman and I'm not to be messed with. You should respect me just as any other man, which is the kind of the fear dynamic that should be put to quote unquote rest. It won't be, but because, all women are seen are weaker than men. So what she has to do is fill some bigger shoes to say, yeah, I'm the president, and yeah, I have this button I can push. Don't try me because I'll push it. And I think there might be an incident somewhere, sometime, where she will push that button, even though it's not necessarily to do so, but it is to mark her territory in that bravado to say, I'm just as capable as any other man.
I don't think that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think that we should be concerned for war. And I'm just trying to explain this briefly. I did a little bit of military time. If you look at how we structure warfare nowadays, a lot of this happens in policy way before any missiles are fired. My concern for Kamala is more the intimidation factors within the chambers. She's going to be meeting with world leaders across the globe. And a lot of times what happens is that in these negotiations, they have policies, they have things they want to, introduce. Is she going to have the necessary experience to be able to know what to receive, what to dispel, or not? As far as warfare in itself, we isolate the things that we strike. I mean, 9/11 tells you they didn't crucify, in a sense, the entire United States. They pinpoint certain things to, execute attacks on. This is how warfare is done now. It's not like it was back in the 1700s, 1800s, because our systems are too intertwined globally from an economic standpoint. So they can only afford, if there is going to be an attack, it's going to be an isolated one. So
no full-scale invasion anytime soon.
So NBA, you heard the questions?
Yeah, I was on my phone listening. I had to go to the bus stop and pick up a kid.
That's cool. Are you back with y'all? The question on the table is, what do you think what things will look like with a 4-year presidency with Kamala Harris involved?
I think people are overlooking policy. It's easy to talk about war and drones and all that, but we're talking about policy. The actual bills that get written and put into place, those are more effective than all the other stuff. Fact of the matter is this: if she comes in and, let's say, just for the hell of it, because of Donald Trump, whatever he does, it causes the Democrats to do a wave like they did before, and they take the House and the Senate, and then she's president. They can pass anything they want. And you're going to get all kinds of this gender-based crap, all this black woman power stuff. You're going to get all that stuff that goes for all these different supposedly protected groups. And the ones that are going to get left out, as usual, are black men. They're not going to make some special policy for us. But if you're LGBTXYZ or you're a black woman or black kids, you're going to get all kinds of policies written for you. And that's what the issue is with her. Capability, yes, she can do the job. A ham sandwich could do the job. There's a reason why presidents have terms, but all the generals and everybody else are still there. It's their carryovers from all the other administrations to keep government running. So she really don't have to do much except Biden has a heart attack, she takes over. I'm just worried that if the Democrats take over Congress with her, She's basically gonna have a free reign to pass whatever she wants. And if they pass some left wing crazy stuff, she's gonna sign it.
Oh yeah.
And that, I mean, if you have a Congress and a White House that are totally politically lined up, like look at all the stuff Democrats pushed through when Obama was president. He just signed it, no debate, because the Democrats did it. You got to have checks and balances. So I'm hoping that the Republicans keep one of the houses, either the House or the Senate, so that way she can't just push through whatever she wants. She has to actually legislate and work for it. Because if we get in that situation,
that's what I mentioned, the bills and the policies.
Yeah, if we get in that situation where she has a Democrat Congress and she is in charge, none of us are gonna like what comes from that, especially the taxes.
NBA, just to be fair, Obama only had 2 years where he had all the houses, and I don't think he did enough. I don't think he did enough. But anyway, so let me ask you this: while you're still up, do you think she's gonna be elected, or do you think she's gonna succeed Biden?
I think Biden is gonna win because there's a lot of anti-Trump hate.
You think he's gonna make it?
Yeah, I think I think he's gonna make it. I think, like I said earlier, people are not gonna vote for him. It's a vote against Trump. And because Trump is toxic, it's gonna trickle all the way down the tickets to all the other Republicans. That's just like it did last time. It trickled down. That's why the Democrats still have the Senate, because that trickle down effect killed a lot of Republicans. But she's gonna probably take charge, probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years into Biden's next term. Because if you look at him, he looks bad. And I wouldn't be shocked if she wasn't already doing the majority of the work behind the scenes, and they just kind of put him out front. It's kind of like some of the senators. Dianne Feinstein is 90. Her aides do most of the work. They write the bills, they sign them, they do all, because that lady's 90. She don't even know what she is. And that's what I'm afraid is going to happen with Biden. He's going to get to the point where he's just a face. He's just a figurehead. She's going to really be pulling the trigger on stuff. And then eventually they're going to just push him aside.
Let me throw this out at you. I had the thing on my mind. I think that this election, if even with Biden there, what do you guys think or let's just say Biden's going to be there. What do you think the black male vote is going to go down to in terms of the percentages for the Democratic Party? Because there's an awakening, I think. I think the numbers are already coming down, even with the support that Stacey Abrams didn't get when she was running. You started seeing the numbers, black men starting to talk against just voting mindlessly for Democrats because there's like nothing in it for us. Nobody's talking about fixing a loophole in the 13th Amendment. Nobody's talking about private prisons and how we're being used as chattel to fill those beds. Nobody's talking about that.
No one's going to like my answer. No one's going to like my answer, but I'm going to tell you.
Hold on for your answer. So what I'm saying is I still don't want to separate the question from Kamala, because if she had to run for election, I think she'd get a very low black male turnout, or very unexpectedly low. I don't know how very low means, but under what she might thought she would have got. Go ahead, NBA.
Well, she's not gonna have to run. She's not. Biden is he's gonna be around long enough to cross the finish line. But here's the answer. Well, if she had to run, then she's screwed. She's not going to get anywhere close to what she needs to win. She'll get the black female vote easily. That's a landslide. She'll get 96% of that. But the black male vote, maybe if she's lucky, she might get 50%. But on a Biden-Harris ticket, I'm going to say what a lot of people don't want to hear because it happened the last time. A lot of black men voted for Biden because their woman did. And they didn't want that friction and drama in their house. So they just voted the way their woman did. That happens in a lot of households. And honestly, that's the way voting used to take place in America, where it was one vote, one house. That's how it used to be. There wasn't all these separate votes in one household. But I know for a fact in the black community especially, the Democrats can count on 85, 90% turnout for them when the black community votes. You can go back to every election for the past 50 years. Black people have been voting religiously Democrat. It's been higher female than male, but if you look back at the last election and the one before that, the black male vote for Democrats was almost as high as the black female vote. And I think a lot of black men don't like some of these liberal Democrats. Most black men are conservative in nature, even when they don't like to admit it. Most black men are anti-gay, anti-trans, anti a lot of that crap. They just don't like to say it out loud because in these times you can lose your job and everything by saying this stuff. But a lot of men also want peace and quiet in their house. And you don't want to argue with your woman all day and night because she voted for Biden and you voted for Trump. Nobody wants that. And that's what I think happened. And you can just check the
How the hell
numbers.
does she know what you vote for though?
Because you can check the numbers of the last election and see how many black men voted for Biden. It was a lot. It was almost as high as the black female vote.
No,
I'm going on stats.
I understand that.
I'm going on stats. I think a lot of black men are loyal to their women and they vote Democrat.
That doesn't say their motivation. You're assuming that was their motivation.
I'm assuming. I'll use the word assume. Well, it's just the same assumption I use with church. The only time you see black men in there is when they being drugged in there by a woman. Most black men don't even want to go to church. You have a vast look. The numbers in churches speak for themselves. They're all empty just about. But the black men you do see in there, they're typically in there with a woman because that's who brought them. And that's what I'm saying. Black men have this thing where we like to be unified with black women on certain things, and we don't like to break the peace. Okay, my mom made us go to church when we were kids. When I was old enough to stop going, I stopped going. But in order to keep the peace, mom wanted us in church. We was in church. We all listen. Let's stop pretending like black women don't semi-run black men's lives, especially when they're young. Let's stop pretending like that don't happen because it does.
I was just gonna say as far as so there's two scenarios, right? Either she is promoted to president because Biden ran, he got elected, he's got some health issue going on, and then she actually becomes president. That actually happened already for like a day. But let's just say that one scenario happens, right? Then that means that she's not really held to any account to any voters because no one voted for her, but she got the position anyway. So that's one scenario. And then the outcomes of that scenario will play out. The other scenario in which she would be forced to run for president, then we're talking about something else. Then we're talking about her having to actually go out there, campaign, and earn votes from everybody who needs to support her. That would include black men as well. She wouldn't have to really cater to black women because she already has that on lock. Just her by gender and just her by ethnicity. She's already got because she's part Asian, she's part Indian, she's part what I mean. She has these different parts of her ethnicity and her identity which will garner a lot of votes on the woman's side. On the male side, it's going to have to be policy that's going to have to benefit black men to some degree. If she wants our vote, she can't count on it because we're the opposite gender, number one, and we have completely different interests, number two. So if she wants to win this election, she's going to have to start speaking to us in a manner that says, hey, you black men, this is what this black woman, me as president, can do for you once I get into this office. And she would be held accountable mostly by us, not by black women, because black women will just let her slide with almost anything, right? So I think that's the different scenario and the different result set that we're looking at when it comes to this dynamic.
So let me say this.
I don't believe Biden's gonna win.
Hold on, JT. I'll let you go. And after this, let's go back to the original intent of this show. She mentioned that she's ready to be president, right? But to be fair to her, somebody asked her the question. She didn't just come out on her own to say that. But we can get into that after you go ahead and talk, JT.
Yeah, I don't believe he's gonna win just because how we've seen his approval rating do a nosedive. I think a lot of people are realizing that he's too old. He has Alzheimer's, dementia, or something. He has a medical condition that the White House is not being honest with us about because the man doesn't know what he's saying. He swaps topics. He's confused half of the time. He walking the wrong way. That is a bad look for our country, a terrible look for our country.
Yeah, just like Trump.
I know for a fact that somebody else I know for a fact somebody else behind the scenes is running everything, and it could be Kamala, but who knows? There might be a group of people who are helping him run stuff behind the scenes, and he's the mascot. So Trump could possibly win. People taking that mugshot and thinking that mugshot is not doing him justice, but we know in 2023 all publicity is good publicity, and that mugshot might get him more votes.
I gotta put it this way. I gotta put it this way to you guys. First and foremost, Kamala Harris will not be president of the United States except if she succeeds. What's his name? Joe Biden. That's the only way she's going to be there. Because I'll tell you why. She is going to antagonize the white vote. And number two, when Hillary Clinton came out to vote, when she came out to run in 2016, right? I did not know that so many white men and male and white women don't want a woman being the president of the United States. I got to tell you, what I had, what I saw, tells me that the country doesn't want a woman as a president. How much more a black woman? They don't even want a woman up there. So to have a black woman is going to be a big stretch. They're just not going to make it work. You see, if they didn't elect a woman that was very qualified, they're not going to elect a woman anytime soon. And number three, to me, is this. The only way she can be president, apart from Biden, right, is Republicans make, I'm sorry, the only way Biden can be president, again, because I don't see Biden being president or getting re-elected, is only if Republicans screw up and nominate Trump. Trump is very toxic. I don't care how much people think about his publicity or 2023 publicity. Trump is not liked by people. A lot. People will come out and vote against Trump, just like they did 2 years ago. They will come out and they will vote against him. So Republicans, don't make that mistake. Do not make that mistake and say, we're going to nominate Trump. Trump is very toxic, and for some reason, Republicans don't see this shit. They think that we got to force him into the White House. No, there is something called 33, 33, 33. There is 33% black. Oh, I'm sorry, there is 33% independent, 33% Republican, and 33% Democrats. That's how this country is structured. So, which means in that 33% independence, there is leaning Democrat, there is leaning Republican, and then there is the independent. That's the problem. So you cannot just pick up somebody and think that 33% hardcore Republicans are going to elect that person, plus the leaning Republicans. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Trump is very toxic.
I hear that. Listen, hey, well, before you go on, if there's any women in the chat, when Mike comes back, y'all come on and say your piece. If there's some women who want to come up, we got a couple of bold sisters out there. Get on the panel and say your piece for Kamala. Yeah.
There also there's what's going on in different. Oh, okay, he dropped the link. Okay. I was gonna say also in different states they're filing now for the 14th Amendment, which means that Trump's name won't legally be on the ballot because of the Insurrection Act, things like that, when the criminality charges, things like that. 91 felony accounts, 4 indictments, cases that are dropping. So, and to speak to what JT was saying, Joe Biden's numbers are underwater right now, but 1 year from the actual election is a lifetime in politics. Those numbers can turn right around. When it comes time to actually put that ballot and pull that lever and that switch, when it gets real, that's when you know what's what, who's going to actually win the election. A year out is kind of too soon to tell.
It's going to be 1 more year, and that's healthy. It's going to be 1 more year, and that's healthy. Okay, let me put it to you this way. If it's not Kamala, see, we're kind of saying if Kamala is going to be president, it's going to be through secession. But if it's not Biden, and we come to an election, even if she has a short term before next year's election, who's the Democratic candidate? Who's the candidate?
Who could win? Like,
it won't be. I think it's going to be Republican.
You mean
I think it's gonna be Republican, and if it's not Trump, it's the second runner-up. I hate messing this.
DeSantis.
What you say?
No. I didn't say who's going to be
not
president.
DeSantis. No, because with DeSantis, I think DeSantis is not going to be president. I'm gonna tell you why.
It's not going to be
Florida had that
president.
hurricane, and it's
Trump,
a lot of other stuff.
Trump and DeSantis is not going to work. Trump and DeSantis will
Wait a minute, guys. Wait a second.
I doubt it's going to be DeSantis, bro.
Wait a second. I'm saying if Biden doesn't make it right before the next election, Kamala would do a short term, but we're still going to have an election. Who would be the Democrat other than Kamala to run in that election? Which Democrat?
The highest ranking Democrat right now that's not in the running, that if he jumped in would have the best chance, is the governor of California.
Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom.
That's correct.
He's the most popular Democrat outside of Washington right now.
That's correct.
Yeah, he's very popular with liberals.
He's been out there for years. He's been out there for years.
But he's going to win election. He's going to win election.
And a lot of people are trying to get him into the race so they can get rid of Biden. If Gavin Newsom jump in, Biden is toast. They love
Biden is gone.
He doesn't have to, but there's a difference. Like, so Gavin Newsom, I do believe if it came seriously to Biden falls ill and we can see it all, we can see it all the world, the YouTube, whatever. We see it, right? And Kamala is someone that, maybe on the large majority we want to reject. On the top of the ticket, you would have Gavin Newsom. And at the bottom of the ticket, you might have a Harris or somebody else, depending on how the primary goes.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Even though
also, I'm looking at the exit polls for 2020. Here's something that we need to work on as a group of people, not just black or white, but people in general. We need to stop quoting false numbers. You can actually look up the exit polls of the election. Donald Trump got 12% of the black male vote and 6% of the black female vote in 2020. You can actually look at the exit polling. Don't just make up numbers. I've been seeing numbers in the chat where people.
No. Donald Trump got 20% of black.
No, he did not. He got 12%.
He was the first. He was the not 20% of black male vote. Donald Trump was the first person to get 20% of black vote. Black vote is
Did you not just hear what if you would have listened to me instead of cutting me off? I said Donald Trump got 12% of the black male vote and 6% of the black female vote.
That's 18. He got 20, not 18. He got 20%.
No, listen. It depends on your data source, Akinai.
I'm literally reading it off the exit polls from the election. You can look it up anywhere. This is what I'm talking about. We can't just make up numbers. This is one of the reasons why black YouTube trails behind white YouTube, because we just throw out numbers.
Bro, let me tell you something.
Not a competition.
I follow election as a guru.
I didn't say it was a competition, but what it is accuracy. Accuracy matters.
I don't know where you're getting your stuff from, but I was that when the election was concluded. I listened to the whole thing. Never went to. But I know what an exit poll is. What are you?
Do you not know what an exit poll is?
Are you trying to tell me about? No,
do you not know what an exit poll is, sir?
Who told you I don't know what the meaning of exit poll? Exit poll is conducted before you find from the exit poll. You find out how people are voting. Just before the main election is announced, exit poll tells you how people are voting. You get it by education, by demography. Those are exit polls. You see what I'm saying? But after the whole election was concluded, 2 weeks after the election was concluded, the result that came out, the final result, let me finish, please. The final tally says that black people, Trump was the first Republican in history to put the highest vote of black people, and he put 20% of total all black votes. He's the number one Republican in history.
I'm quoting, well, you asked for my sources. Newsweek, USA Today, CNN, Rolling Stone, Brookings, PolitiFact, MSNBC, they all say the same thing. Donald Trump got 12% of the black male vote, 6% of the black female vote. That's what I'm quoting.
You guys are arguing 2%. You guys are
but what I'm saying is facts do matter.
Yeah, okay,
facts do matter.
I agree with you, but let's not argue 2%.
Yeah, he's still lost. I'm still. The world keeps spinning.
That's because my point was completely overlooked. It wasn't even about the numbers. It was about being accurate in the things that you say.
We agree with you.
How can you expect people to come out and watch you and pay attention to you and listen to you if you say inaccurate things? At some point, it builds up, and then people decide they don't want to listen to you anymore because you're not being honest and you're not being accurate. I'm accurate with the things that I say. I look it up. I research. That's what you're supposed to do.
We agree. But in this particular confrontation, you're only 2% off. But I hear you. So listen. I'm just saying. I think we're in for interesting times. I still don't see any women coming up. I think Mike said he dropped the link again. It'd be nice to have a few on this topic. You know, other than talking about how men think, it'd be nice for a woman to talk about how they think about.
Great.
Kamala Harris.
The thing about it is this, Mr. Payne. Look at it this way. Black, with the power of YouTube and what YouTube has done in the last 2 years when it comes to influencing decisions, because you gotta look at it this. You guys gotta look at it this way. Before YouTube, right? There are a lot of things that women did in this society and they got away with it. But for the last 2 years, YouTube has shut down a lot of things. Case in point, you remember what's her name? The ESPN girl?
With Jamel
Hill?
No, not Jamel Hill, the Angela something. The girl that Andrews, Malika Andrews.
Yeah, what about
it? Was the male YouTube that actually put a stop on the way she talk about black men.
Wait a minute, who's he talking about?
No, she has slowed down significantly. Who
is he talking about? Malika Andrews?
Right. But before male YouTube, guess what? She was on fire. Then secondly, look at this. You remember the girl?
She trashes black men every day.
Stop interrupting people when they're talking, man. So if you
wait a minute. You telling me about interrupting when you walked in the door and interrupted the whole panel? Come on, man. Chill that out.
So you know what?
Chill that out, man.
You got to act like a man.
Chill that out, man.
So the thing is this, right? So if you look at what's the name of the you see that the girl that was hit by brick, right?
We don't care what her name is, but go ahead. The brick girl.
Yeah,
they call her brick
the
girl.
The brick girl. Before YouTube, do you know that the guy that did that shit to her would have been on television right now, scrutinized, bombarded, and on handcuffs with mug shots all over television. But guess what they did but guess what? Now they are trying to soften the tone by making sure that they don't overcharge if they catch him. But the YouTube was actually instrumental in making those things happen. Because if not YouTube, man, they would have been looking for that guy's ass to destroy him.
I destroy on that one. First of all, the lady didn't press any charges. She still didn't put a police report in. And nobody's asking any of the witnesses who this guy is. So, you know, her story's but I hear what you're trying to say, but that's not a good example, I don't think.
Once again, accuracy and truthfulness matters. Malika Andrews on the daily verbally assaults black men. YouTube has not slowed her down from trashing black men damn near every day on ESPN. So you were not factually correct, sir. You were matter of fact completely wrong.
Malika Andrews talk about black. Do you know what you mean by talk about black men on YouTube every day? That is an exaggeration. She talk about black men on YouTube when it requires when ESPN wants her to, and it's not an everyday comment.
She does a daily basketball show.
Let's leave that one alone. If an NBA player came in and he was 2 years old and he fell and he spilled his milk on the ground, she would say, "Hey, you remember when you spilled your sister's milk?"
Yeah, she would do that.
You know, I mean, she hates black men. Let's just leave it there. YouTube has done nothing to curtail her from her hatred and misandry of black men. You know,
that's because it's women owned now. It's ran by women. They censor
ESPN is run by women.
That doesn't benefit them, but they don't censor the stuff that they agree with. So
as much as I agree with the misandry stuff, you guys are wrong. ESPN is not run by women. That's not true. Look,
I didn't
that's what
say
I'm saying,
ESPN.
guys.
I said YouTube, bro. I never said nothing about
YouTube
ESPN.
is not run by a woman anymore. YouTube is not run by a woman anymore. Susan stepped down. There's some Indian dude running it now. See, y'all don't even keep up on current events. Susan Wojcicki stepped down like a year ago.
But her policies is still up there. How YouTube
No,
has run has not changed.
God. This is like arguing with my sisters, man.
How YouTube has run is
Not
not
because
changed,
she talk
bro.
like a woman. That's why you
No,
argue like
you
a
tell
woman.
lies, sir, and I call you out on your lies.
You like a woman. Who told you
You
that
know,
people are
you
lying?
tell lies,
You
and I
should
call you out on your lies.
understand when they say plus minus
Stop being a
2% of
liar,
any
then.
argument. You just argue like
Stop
a
being a
woman.
liar,
Talk.
then.
You talk and talk non-stop, motherfucker. You
Stop
talk
being a
too
liar,
fucking much.
then.
It's like I'm talking to my wife.
Stop
You
being
talk
a
like I'm
liar,
talking to my
sir.
wife. Having conversation with you is like having conversation with my wife.
No, having a
Man,
conversation with you is
man,
like
you just like
literally stepping
freaking
into a
ass
country
asshole,
where no
man.
one speaks the language.
Everybody else. Oh, you're right. You're wrong. You're right. You're wrong. You're right. You're wrong. You're right.
Hey, let Payne moderate. Let Payne moderate.
You can't even let the man
Y'all
talk.
hear this motherfucker right here?
Okay,
Can't even understand what the fuck he's saying.
What the fuck are you, man?
Let
You
Payne
want to
moderate.
be on this channel for 2 days. You can't even let anybody talk.
Fucking clown.
He's only been here for like 3 days. Can't even let people talk. If anybody wants to talk, oh, you're
You
wrong.
don't know what
Hey,
you're
Trigger
talking
Mike, you're
about.
wrong. EBD,
You
you're
don't
wrong.
know what you're
Hey,
talking
Kenny,
about.
you're
You're
wrong.
saying things that you don't
What's his
know.
name? Rich, you're wrong. Oh, you can't get the stats right. Oh, this man, what the fuck are you talking to the woman, man?
I got you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You're freaking out. It's like I'm talking to my wife.
JT, what you got on it? JT, what you
Look
got?
at how he's doing his hand like he's a motherfucking gay. A man doesn't do his hand like this. You act like a little kid, man. It's like I'm debating a 15-year-old boy.
Hang on. JT got something to say. Let JT got something to say. He got something to say.
This guy is a motherfucking little kid.
Just because a woman isn't in there anymore doesn't mean the policies that she put in place aren't still active. Like, tell me one thing that this man came into YouTube and changed that she put in place, because we still don't have the dislike count. We still have the censorship on certain items. All of that was put in place when she got there.
And the CEO is not involved in the day-to-day activities of a company. That's management.
I would answer that, but never mind.
I got one for you, NBA. I got one for you, all right? And I'm not trying to curtail what you say. You got to stop indicting everybody on what your facts are. Yes. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Because you lead with everybody's doing this. Everybody.
I did not say everybody. That's a lie.
Hold on now. You saying your guys. If everybody takes that personally if they're on the panel. I'm just saying.
When did I say you guys or y'all guys? When did I say that?
Well, just go back through if you want to, and hear how you start your.
No, when that guy said, when he said something, I told him he was wrong.
All I'm just trying to say is that even if you're factually correct, the way you come out, sometimes everybody feels indicted, even if they're innocent, because of the way you put it. Now we should be able to take that. If the shoe hurts, wear it. But you're still kind of new here, man. We got to get used to you, but you got to let other people speak. We got to stop talking over each other. I'm guilty of it. I am guilty of it. I'm trying to be cool these days. You don't know how these guys beat me over the coals when I overtalk people. So
I'm glad you said it, because I was going to remind you that you do it a lot too. But you beat me to
it. we do it, but there's a respectful level. There's a respectful level of decorum that we use, especially on the Trigger Mike show.
What is disrespectful about correcting inaccurate information? Hold on, Payne. Hold on. What is disrespectful about correcting inaccurate information?
Okay, this is my
okay,
guys.
Wait. Let me answer his question. What is disrespectful is that you're not the gatekeeper of the truth and all facts. Like you're not.
But hold on.
You're not.
Hey, did you have something else
you are wrong about some things, whether you admit to it or not. You're wrong about some things. And the difference is all of us, and the difference is on the Trigger Mike show, we do hold each other accountable as Black men. So if we do get something wrong, we're able to take it with a grain of salt, take the L, learn from it, and move on to the next topic. We don't have to dwell back and forth for 20 minutes over 2 points in a percentage.
New question. Who would be the best Black conservative presidential candidate?
Me. I would. Because as soon as I step to the podium, the very first thing I would say is, my fellow Americans, fuck your feelings. We got business. And here's the thing. I said it before and I said it again. Black men are too fucking emotional. That's the reason why M'Baku there got mad at me for correcting his inaccurate information, because black men are too fucking emotional.
Disrespectful,
okay?
Just right there. I'm calling him M'Baku. His name is Ikene, Mr. Ikene.
I don't know his name, and he called me all kinds of names.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. He called me all kinds of names, and not once did you accuse him of being disrespectful. So don't do it to me.
No, he is disrespectful.
Fair is fair.
You're the one
don't
talking,
do it to me,
but you're the one talking. You're the one talking.
And you're also the one interrupting.
Larry Elder.
Two people who
Larry
get
Elder
about interrupting.
Larry Elder?
NBA, answer the question. Who do you, besides you, who do you think is going to be the president?
There ain't none. They would never get elected in this country because there's too many left-leaning, whiny ass black men in this country that'll never vote for them.
You got that true go. You got something to say to every time I ask you. Can you hear me? True.
I asked you.
No.
I said they would never get elected. A black conservative would never get elected in this country.
I hear you, but you go ahead.
I've been letting y'all rock. A lot of this is above my pay grade, so I'm trying to be educated. But I am seeing the dispelling and the conflict on something that's minuscule and petty. I mean, I get it. You know, I appreciate my brother NBA trying to be accurate. But we do operate in love. It's not that serious. You just correct the brother, say, hey, you 2% off. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah,
I tried that and I got yelled at and called names.
Okay.
You get what you give in this world. You know, if you're going to yell at me and call me names, then I'm going to come back with this equal force.
I think that as a mature black man that I assume you are, some of that stuff you got to take. You're not bleeding. You weren't not.
No, of course not.
Yeah, so I get it, but we don't want to.
Well, I apologize because I am not tolerant of what I like to call falsehoods. Okay, I do nothing but tell it like it is. Period. I don't believe in playing the feelings game. We're a bunch of men on here, and if there were some women on here, the feelings game would kind of matter. But amongst men, we shouldn't be playing the how you feel game. We should be playing the actual factual game.
This is not my.
Wait a minute, let me say what I'm gonna say. You can go. I agree with you every day, but it's called every so often just give people a little grace. That's all. That's all. That's all.
Okay.
I will not correct any more inaccuracy.
Okay. Let me say this. This is high level of disrespect when you tell him when you are talking with a man, a fellow man, and he gives you statistics, and you guys are talking about statistics, and he tells you that this is 20%, and you say this is 18%. Okay, this is white, this is a little bit off-white, and you have to argue about a little bit off-white. That is, I would say, that's theoretical because it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, let's remember you're the one who introduced name calling to the conversation.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what you got to understand.
Don't hear nothing.
When it comes to math and science, when you got to talk about science and statistics, man, you can't match me on science and statistics. We can go all day. And I can tell it to clear the table. Let's go on science and statistics. And you can't even match me a single bit. I spent all my life on science and statistics.
I bet.
You see what I'm saying? So you might have spent your whole time in jail. I did it. I spent my whole time
for my information. You gave
and
none.
guess what? I spent my time as a mechanical engineer. Okay, you can't beat me on science and statistics. I'll wipe your ass down. So don't bring science and statistics to me. Don't do that.
8 sources for my information. You gave 0 sources.
Guess what? I gave you every single source.
Exactly.
Told you this, that once the exit poll was done by the 7th day of the election, look at what happened. I give you that. Let me tell you something, right? You can't even match me on science and statistics. So don't go there. Don't tell me that you have science and statistics. You don't have nothing. You can Google source. Who doesn't Google source? I can Google source right now. And I can tell you, every source they have plus 2 minus.
True Table never answered the question. True Table never answered the question. True Table never answered the question. I don't think.
JT,
finally, shut up.
No. True Table never finished answering. He never said what black Democrat. I mean, not Democrat, but what black Republican do he think would win?
Conservative.
Oh, conservative. Yeah, would win.
Or conservative.
Are we talking about an actual political figure?
Just saying the best one.
It could be somebody in politics or outside, because
that's a conservative black man, basically.
Now, I don't tend to talk about politics very much. What's the gentleman's name? Black billionaire, owns the investment.
Bob Johnson.
I don't think it's Bob Johnson.
Yeah, you talk about Allen, or not Byron?
No.
You're not talking about the guy with the studio, are you?
There's Robert Smith.
That's right.
Robert Smith. Okay.
That would be the only gentleman I would see probably that I would endorse, just based on what he's been able to accomplish, obviously, in the world of business. But like politics is something that, and me personally, there's so many variables to it. You know, we all know that it's.
What about Larry Elder?
I can see Larry. I can see Larry Elder. I don't.
He's actually running right now. He's just not being allowed to debate because he didn't get a high enough percentage on the polls.
He might be there next time. time.
And I think that's where he doesn't have that social clout, you know.
Right.
And he also doesn't have the backing that he needs from us. If we would back him more, he could get to that debate stage.
Well,
and then
did the Breakfast Club showing help him?
Yeah, I like that. What he did.
Larry Elder. Yeah. Wait. Larry Elder was on the Breakfast Club sometime.
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't. I didn't see that. I'll look it up.
Watch that. He torched him.
Well, here's who I would say since we're in the realm of black conservatism, male conservatism, who might be able to win or get the support of most of us. As I'm looking at this list here, I would actually say if Michael Jordan ran. Wait. I'm just saying. If he's not a politician, right? The reason I say his name is number one, he is the only one, the black, as far as black men, who has the name recognition, who has the autonomy of his own money, who has a billionaire, who's been famous beyond different decades and generations. He's a success. Everywhere you go, you see either his shirt or his shoes on somebody. Like he's already supported throughout multiple generations of people who know his name, right? He has a name recognition that everybody can get behind. If he had the right policies, if he had the right kind of, he's been out there for a while, right? I'm not saying that, business, quote unquote, translates into, good governing policy and philosophy, but I'm saying if Trump got into office because of who he is and nothing to do with politics, but everything to do with success, I'm saying on the other side of that, we have our Jordan that kind of matches that tit for tat.
Jordan conservative?
I don't know much about Jordan. JT, I'll let you go after this. Jordan's getting finessed out of his team. He lost his team.
Oh, that I don't know.
He might not even be a billionaire after that transition is gone.
Well, the shoes, the shirt, all that.
Well, hold on. And let me also say.
Go ahead.
I think he still has a secret, unspoken about gambling problem that nobody's talking about. So I'm not sure about that, but I don't see where they say that he went cold turkey from doing that. And if you research how he lost his team, it was like based on like a gamble almost.
Wait a minute. Michael Jordan got $4 billion and he still owned the team as a minority owner. He didn't lose out. He just sold out because he didn't have the money for the payroll. So somebody with more money took over the team. But he got $4 million and he's still listed as a minority owner. So he's still drawing revenue from the team because he's just not the main owner anymore. But he's still there. Yeah,
but it doesn't translate into politics, which is a completely different sport. Because of his business dealings, it's not going to be like, well, I can't vote for you because of what happened with your team.
You're always tired of celebrity goddamn presidents. No,
I don't think
somebody floated that The Rock was thinking about running.
He said that he was flattered to think of him, to be thought of, but he doesn't do politics. But it would be cool.
I think he win in a landslide.
I think he might win. I think he would win.
I'm gonna tell you who I would vote for every time, and I wish they would run is Ric Flair.
Oh, come on.
He's too
old. I would vote for him 100 times.
Is he
I don't care. Listen, I grew up a Horseman fan, and Ric Flair is my all-time favorite wrestler. I'd vote for him in a heartbeat without even thinking about it.
We're not tired of celebrity people taking over the country. Come on, man.
And Donald Trump won with no political experience.
He's 74 years old. I think we're tired of like. I mean, I would
financial experience.
Go ahead, JP. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I didn't know Jordan's like political status. I didn't know if he was outwardly conservative or nothing. I don't know that much about.
Even Republicans buy shoes. Even Republicans buy shoes.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. Well, you know what?
Okay.
You know what though? You know what though? You know what
what
would be probably monumental now that I'm talking about Jordan? He doesn't have to run as a Democrat or a Republican. He can run as an independent, meaning doesn't have to owe loyalty to any party. He can actually govern the way he wishes to govern.
Let me tell you, Jordan ain't thinking about no damn presidency, man. Are you kidding?
I'm just saying. But the question, to answer the question, at least the best one to win, I would say Jordan.
Man. He's golfing every weekend.
Can you imagine Jordan playing basketball on his court in the White House? Chilling, signing bills in the law. His big old 6'4", 6'5", signing. Hey man, we're gonna roll like this. Whatever with that big old hoop earring or whatever. Yeah. Meeting people around the world.
He'll get drugged. Doesn't he have like a white wife? Won't.
Yeah.
Kamala's got a white husband.
Yeah, but she's a black woman. So it doesn't pale.
Here we go with that again.
But you know what though? Be that as it may, it's 2023, 2024. I mean, are we really getting ding that hit for marrying who we marry? I mean,
no.
But EDB, look at this. You didn't listen to what True just said. He said Kamala Harris' husband is a white man, whereas Jordan's wife is a white woman.
Right.
That's a two different thing politically. The black woman would vote for a black woman that marries a white man, but we vote against a black man that marries a white woman. So look at that.
I tell you,
you're right.
A good black conservative that we're overlooking is the former chief of the RNC, Michael Steele. He would make a good candidate. Or
but black women will vote against his ass so quick, so fast.
Who, Michael Steele?
Yeah,
I think Michael Steele is a good candidate because number one, he does live. First of all, he does live on this planet when he speaks, and number two, him being in politics and being the chief of RNC, he would actually win over conservative votes. Right, and can possibly win Democratic votes. He's not the crazy guy talking a bunch of conspiracies or anything like that. He lives in reality. I mean, I didn't like the fact that they selected him because Obama got elected, so we need somebody black too. Let's grab Michael Steele. I mean, I didn't like him then, but now that he's out of politics, he's more free to speak his mind.
Somebody reminded me that Colin Powell is dead. My bad. I forgot about that.
He's oh my God, he would have been first of all he would have been my primary pick.
Yeah.
Over anybody.
What about Jimmy Walker?
If Colin Powell was alive, he would have been.
He played JJ on Good Times.
Nah.
He's a conservative.
Yeah, but he does commercials for AARP and all that. I'm not worried about it.
Black conservatives
gonna go crazy.
Dynamite, come on, man.
I mean that works for. I think that works for a generation that was around for Good Times in 2020.
Condoleezza Rice?
No, because too many people remember what happened during the Bush administration, and ain't nobody trying to rehash that.
If we gonna go crazy, we just go ahead and tell Jay-Z to cut his hair and run for the candidate.
Do you think it is possible that Jay-Z would actually, but let's just say he just entertained it for some reason. If he did, I mean, I don't know how much support he would get, but you know what? Now that I think about it, because if Jay-Z runs for president, that means Beyonce is a first lady. And now that I think about it, yeah,
I think
he could pull it off. He could pull it off.
Let's talk about the person who already talked about running. What about Kanye? He already discussed.
Hell no.
No.
Hell no. Hell no.
Come on, you got
there would have to be some dude on staff from the insane asylum with a gag ball talking about, yo, if he goes left, we gotta cut the mic and put him in the jacket and put him in the car before he gets killed. Because he was saying some off the wall stuff at a moment's notice. He did it with the awards on Taylor Swift. He ain't getting Taylor Swift.
The state of black conservatism is where we have to come out of the universe and out of our ass coming up with candidates because it just ain't none. You know, because some of these guys you're mentioning, first of all, Jay-Z, the kind of life he's living, who the hell wants to be president? He can't even take that kind of pay cut.
Yeah.
You know,
he can do more outside of politics than in.
He's not the first.
Pull his history up, it'll be over with.
He wouldn't be the first billionaire to serve. It's not a
America is not going to elect a former drug dealer. They will not do that.
But he was never convicted. He was never convicted.
But they will tear down his ass on TV.
He can rap his way into the election for real.
I'm just saying we don't go crazy.
Everywhere he goes will be a concert.
So
I know, but you don't want shit coming out. You don't want shit about him coming out, man.
He raps about all of his dirt. He doesn't have secrets. He rapped about all of his dirt. It's in his album somewhere.
Okay. Listen, how about Stephen A. Smith?
No.
Okay.
What do you imagine Stephen A. Smith on a debate stage?
Too many people hate Stephen
on a debate stage. He would eat people alive.
Can you imagine Stephen A. Smith on a debate stage?
Yes, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
He had beef with his networks.
The problem is too many black people call him a coon and an Uncle Tom and an Uncle Ruckus, so he'll never make it. That's the problem that he faces.
But that's image. Conservatives, though. That's just the conservative.
Okay, it's not just image. Black people vote too, so it's not just image. If they think he's a coon and an Uncle Tom, they're not going to vote for him.
The majority
it's not just image.
Feel that way about him.
I don't think the majority of black people feel that way about him.
I think the majority of black people feel that way about conservatives in general, though. They feel
that way about black conservatives in general.
Yeah, right.
It's not just black people, it's black conservatives. Believe me, I know. I get called Uncle Ruckus and Tom at least 5 times a day. Believe me. I know.
Super chats.
NBA, but it's all love.
No, I don't mind it. Look, this is when somebody called me a coon, I explained to them what it means. What the word coon means is complete opposite of niggas.
Somebody help me read these.
Yeah, I'll read them. If you got a felony, the temp service is your best bet as far as getting a job quick. Leverage that job into something bigger. Look up Wall Street Trapper story and Wallow 267. All right. This is NBA at the bus stop coming right. Oh, yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, go ahead. Obama was the first sign of failure. Kamala is the fall of America. Get your bunkers ready. This is no game.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all coming up, man. I'm about to end the show.
All right.
All right. Topic today. Go check out some other people on YouTube. I think some of the homies are live right now. Appreciate y'all for coming up on this topic.
Yeah, I got a brand new YouTube channel called The Foundation. Y'all come check me out if y'all want some more arguing.
No doubt.
Later on.
Check out my man NBA. Check out Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Ekin doing his thing. JT always showing love. Appreciate y'all for coming through.
For sure.
All right. That's it for the Trigger Mike show today. Thank y'all for coming through, everybody. And we're going to rock out like that. Damn, I'm about to leave this stream. How do I end it from my damn phone? Hold on. All right, y'all. We out.
You still out? We could have ended it. We could have ended it for you.
Ekin,
that's
bye.
okay, Trigger Mike. Thank you. Thank you, brother.